Calling for the rain to begin later this evening. That'll be a break for the Yankees because if the rains do come tonight about 9:30, the ball game will be in the third inning. And if Guidry and the Yankees are washed out at that point, it would just about put Ron Guidry out of the World Series unless the Yankees can extend it to 6 games. And without Guidry, it's going to be mighty tough. So Guidry goes to the mound. The Dodgers will pitch the right-hander, Don Sutton, in a ball game you'll hear right here on News Radio 88 coming up in just a couple of minutes. Guidry, of course, an incredible story. He knows he has the talent. He definitely has the confidence, but he has absent from his personality the pomposity that has infected many of the modern-day athletes.
To me, it's just like in your movement. Once you learn all of it, it just comes natural to you. So there's not too many instances where I'm lost and I have to think. You know, there's not too much doubt in my mind. And, you know, I just go ahead, do my job. And like I say, if it's not my day, I'll just have to wait another turn.
But, of course, if Guidry doesn't have it tonight, his next turn will come in April. As for the improvement this year, from very good to incredible.
The pitches are the same. Maybe more confidence, you know, when I go out there. Just, you know, the more experience you get, that helps you too. You know, every time I go out there, I learn a little bit more about pitching. I learn about it when I'm sitting down. You know, I have time to think about it on the sideline. You don't have time to think about it during the game.
So the big weekend of sports activity gets underway here on News Radio 88 at 8:15, just a couple of minutes from right now. Tomorrow, World Series game number 4. Following the ball game, we'll have the Jockey Club Gold Cup from Belmont Park. Seattle Slew going against Affirmed. And, of course, Sunday, if there is a 5th game, it'll be the Yankees against the Dodgers once again on WCBS News Radio 88. And we'll get back to Tom right after this.
Saturday at Abraham and Strauss, we've got exciting savings on our private line of Sealy bedding. Saturday for one day only. Buy any Sealy mattress made expressly for A&S, and you'll get the box spring at half price. What's more, you'll receive a bonus, a Harvard frame at no extra charge. Save on twin, full, queen, and king size sets, all in your choice of extra firm, super firm, or ultra firm styles. If it's made by Sealy expressly for A&S, then it's on sale. Remember, when you buy any Sealy mattress with A&S private label, you can get the box spring at half price, and as a bonus, we'll give you a Harvard frame at no extra charge. So come to the Abraham and Strauss nearest you except Garden City Saturday for the Sealy made expressly for A&S mattress sale. It's a one-day sale made expressly for you.
Catch the spirit of A&S.
14 minutes after 8 at WCBS. Gentlemen, stop and listen. This might well be one of the most important announcements made. Circumstances beyond our control have forced Eagle Clothes into Chapter 11. In order to pay our creditors and to enable us to reorganize, Eagle Clothes is opening its factory to the public. It's not often that people are given an opportunity for such savings, but it's happening right now for a limited time only at the Eagle Factory. Handsomely styled designer suits can be purchased for as low as $29.99. Hundreds of elegant sport coats now selling at the Eagle Factory from $19.99. Slacks for as low as $10.99. And overcoats, raincoats, and more at equally superb values. So, gentlemen, come to the Eagle Factory while it remains open to the public. Open daily till 8, Saturday till 6, and Sunday till 5. On 6th Street between 3rd and 4th Avenues in Brooklyn. Free parking, credit cards accepted, and it's convenient to major highways and most subways. For directions, phone UL2 5800. Write it down, UL2 5800. I'm Tom Franklin. You're listening to WCBS News Radio 88 New York, 8:15. It's World Series time.
From Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York, CBS Radio Sports presents the 1978 World Series on the CBS Radio Network and around the world through American Forces Radio. Hello, everyone. This is Ralph Kiner along with Win Elliott and Ross Porter getting set for the 3rd game of the World Series between the New York Yankees and the Los Angeles Dodgers. This broadcast is sponsored by Quantel Business Computers, the common sense business tool. By Ford Motor Credit Company, the people who want to give you credit for being you. By the A.B. Dick Company, makers of the 990 copier and the Magna 2. By Kinney, the Great American Shoe Store, and by Quality Inns, the most comfortable place under the sun.
Tonight's third game of the 1978 World Series between the LA Dodgers and the New York Yankees, sponsored in part by Getty Oil and General Tire.
We're here at Yankee Stadium, and of course, Yankee Stadium, the house that Babe Ruth built. A fantastic ballpark that was remodeled some few years ago, but still just about the same type baseball park that it has been since Babe Ruth played his glory years here along with Lou Gehrig and many of the other famous Yankee players. There's a great bit of nostalgia here. It's a great thrill to play in this ballpark, and you always think back to those great days, those Yankee days. But today it's the Yankees against the Dodgers, and it's a must-win for the New York Yankees. The Dodgers have won the first two games played at Dodger Stadium. Now this 75th World Series has moved east to Yankee Stadium. Last year the series stood at 1-1 at this point, but the Yankees going on to win in 6 games 4-2. The Yankees and the Dodgers are meeting for the 10th time in series competition. The Yankees hold the edge in games 1, 31-25. In series 1, 7-2. But in 1963, the Dodgers swept the Yankees 4-0. More after this message.
Here's Barsman and McCormick for Quantel Business Computers.
Well, once again, we're talking with another successful businessman. Sir, tell us about your business.
I am the undisputed king of do-it-yourself kits.
Do-it-yourself kits?
That's right. Do-it-yourself bridge building, do-it-yourself buffalo breeding.
Most interesting. Well, you're obviously very successful. To what do you attribute that success?
My Quantel Business Computer.
Your Quantel Business Computer?
Must be an echo in here.
Yes. What does a Quantel Business Computer have to do with your success?
I can do it myself.
Do what yourself?
I can program it myself. For example, if I need a report on the costs of sales for my do-it-yourself brain surgery kit, I just punch a few buttons, fill in a few blanks, and voila.
Voila?
It's French for Eureka, which is Greek for saxophone.
I see. Well, tell me, how are your brain surgery kits going?
Well, so far, nobody's come back to complain.
For Quantel information, call toll-free 800-227-1894. In California, call 415-783-3410. Collect.
In the 75 years of World Series history, 6 teams have come back to win the World Series after losing the first 2 games. No team has ever come back to win a World Series after losing the first 3 games, so the Yankees must win here tonight. The ballpark, of course, is in for consideration. It's a strange ballpark, a very uneven type ballpark. In left center field, it's 430 feet, a big, big, long power alley. In right center field, it's 385, so it's a tremendous advantage to left-hand batters. We were talking with Hall of Famer Bob Lemon, who took over the Yankees during the middle of the season. Bob Lemon, the manager of the New York Yankees, had this to say.
Well, this ballpark has really been outstanding. I know in 1976, when we won the 5th game here, everybody went berserk. And it's been that way ever since, I guess, especially this year. With it coming from behind, I think the fans, they talk about momentum and that. The fans got momentum, too. And they just go out of their gourds, and I think they really help the players. I think the playing part of it might be suited a little more to our club than the Dodgers, because they have a predominant right-hand hitting lineup. But I think every home team has a little home court advantage.
Which is the more difficult, being a World Series participant as you were many years as a pitcher, or being a World Series participant as a manager?
Oh, it's a hell of a lot easier playing. You know, nobody asks you anything when you play. And now, as you can see around us here, you don't have much breathing room. And as you know me, you know I'm not much of a gabber.
Thank you, Bob Lemon.
Thank you, Ralph.
Bob Lemon, the manager of the Yankees. We also got a chance to talk to Tom Lasorda, the manager of the Dodgers. Tom, the antithesis of a baseball career of Bob Lemon's, because Tom Lasorda was really just basically a minor league pitcher. But now the manager of the Dodgers. We'll continue in just a moment.
In 1969, Jackie Stewart won his first World Racing Drivers' Championship. He repeated in 1971, then again in 1973. What Jackie Stewart doesn't know about cars hasn't been written.
I do know that cars just don't perform the way they used to. One of the reasons is the unleaded gasoline that the new engines call for. Unfortunately, most unleadeds don't have the power that gasolines used to have. Well, Getty Unleaded Regular does. It delivers the kind of power you got from gasoline before they took the lead out. Getty Unleaded Regular actually delivers more power than most other major unleadeds. As an ex-racing driver, that appeals to me. And while Getty Unleaded Regular delivers more power, it costs less than most other major unleadeds. I don't know how Getty does it, but as a Scotsman, that really appeals to me.
Getty Unleaded Regular. More power for less money.
Yankees playing the first 2 games of this series in Dodger Stadium, where the crowd certainly was for the L.A. Dodgers, and now they're back home in front of their crowd. Tom Lasorda was asked one time, is there a home court advantage in baseball? And Tom said, well, I'll put it this way. Would you rather fight someone in the dark in your living room or in his living room? But Tom Lasorda also had this to say about playing in Yankee Stadium.
Well, coming into Yankee Stadium, it's an altogether different type ballpark than the Dodger Stadium because of the fact that it's tailor-made for left-hand hitters, and we don't have that many left-hand hitters in our lineup. So I think the right-hand hitters are going to have to make a slight adjustment because it is tough to hit the ball out of the ballpark in the left field area. So they're going to have to go more or less to the line drive type of swing.
In other words, change their swing. Can they do that?
Oh, yes, they're capable of doing it. You were a great hitter. You did it.
Always swung for the fences, though. Well, Tom, you got a tough pitcher to battle here tonight in tonight's game in Guidry, and any special plans against him?
Well, you know, we haven't seen that much of him, and he's an outstanding pitcher, no question about it. But we're going to have to make him throw strikes. I think that's one of the things that we're going to have to do, and if we allow him to throw strikes, then we're going to have a chance of hitting the ball.
Thank you, Tom Lasorda.
Thank you, Ralph Kiner.
Well, the big name was brought up by Tom Lasorda. Guidry, and Guidry, of course, has been the outstanding pitcher for the Yankees this year. He won 25 ball games and lost 3, and he'll be the starting pitcher. He was the winner in the ball game played with the Boston Red Sox in the playoff that was held prior to the League Championship Series and prior to this World Series. So Ron Guidry on the mound, and he'll be going against Don Sutton, who is a very good competitor, a strong right-hander with a very good curveball. We'll return in 1 minute.
Don Knotts for Mailgram.
When I'm away from the office, I don't always have a secretary with me at those important meetings. So when I want to seal a deal in writing, I call Western Union and send a mailgram message. Don Knotts Karate Schools can't miss! The old impact of a telegram at a fraction of the cost wraps it up the next business day. Well, I look macho in my black belt.
When your secretary's not around, call Western Union and dictate a mailgram message anytime.
Talking about Ron Guidry, he had quite a year. He won 25 games and lost just 3, had an earned run average of 1.74. He's appeared in the World Series before. He won 1 and lost none. So this will be his second World Series start here tonight. Ron last pitched in game number 4 of the American League Championship Series against the Royals, getting credit for the Yankees' 2-1 pennant-clinching victory. Ron went 8 innings, gave up 7 hits, and allowed just 1 run. He walked 1 and struck out 7. Rich Gossage came in the ballgame to get the final 3 outs for a save as the Yankees defeated Kansas City to get in the World Series. Don Sutton has been an outstanding pitcher for the Dodgers over the years. He's been in 469 games. 464 as a starting pitcher. He has completed 146, and Don Sutton can become the 52nd pitcher to win 3. Don Sutton can become the 52nd pitcher in World Series history to win 3 games in career play in the World Series. Sandy Koufax and Johnny Padres won the most games in World Series play with 4 apiece. The only other Dodger to win 3 was Don Drysdale, and Don Sutton, right in the makings and the mold of Don Drysdale, a good right-hand pitcher with a good curveball, also a fine change of pace. So it'll be a left-hander, Ron Guidry, and a right-hander going for the Dodgers in Don Sutton. And as we pointed out earlier in the show, it's a must-win for the Yankees, and they appear to be keyed up for it. They have a lot of confidence in their left-hand pitcher, who does throw the ball hard. One of the things that the Dodgers will have to do is to make him get his slider up. He throws a lot of sliders down below the strike zone, just under the knees. So the Dodgers will be looking for that hard slider, which is really a fastball that is cut with a rotation on it to make it break just a little bit. And some people have referred to a slider as a nickel curveball, but actually the way Guidry throws it, it's thrown the right way, a hard pitch that breaks and slides over just at the last minute, which is where it got its name. So we're looking now at Yankee Stadium as the crowd fills in. It's a beautiful night for baseball here in New York. Temperature today was in the 70s. The field condition is good. They had predicted rain for later on this evening, but right now it's just about as nice as you could expect this time of year in the New York area. So baseball to come your way. The World Series game number 3 will return to Yankee Stadium in 1 minute on the CBS Radio Network. This is Ralph Connor, CBS Radio Sports.
Someday you'll own, someday you'll own, sooner or later you'll own Generals.
Don't buy tires until you visit your General Tire headquarters. You'll find a tire that's right for you and a price that's set for today's budget. Choose from steel-belted radial, glass-belted polyester cord, and economical 4-ply nylon cord tire. Or go with the sporty look of wide leather whites. They all incorporate General's 62 years of tire building know-how. Quality, choice, price. General has the tire for you. Check your yellow pages for the General Tire headquarters nearest you.
Sooner or later you'll own Generals. Sooner or later you'll own Generals.
WCBS, New York.
Number 34, Steve Lacy.
From Yankee Stadium in New York, this is Win Elliott along with Ross Porter, where CBS Radio Sports is going to present the third game of the World Series between the New York Yankees and the Los Angeles Dodgers. As we speak to you, the teams are being introduced. First, the foreigners, as far as Yankee Stadium is concerned. The catcher, Yankee Stadium. The catcher, Steve Yeager, has just been introduced, and as you can imagine, the Yankee adherents have been greeting them with a mingled kind of greeting, mostly on the negative side. You can imagine the stadium crowd here is definitely partisan. Well, as we look forward to this game, what can we expect? You've heard the word must over and over again. Well, this is an absolutely have-to game for the Yankees, basically because no team has ever lost the first 3 and come back to win a World Series. The New York Yankees are being introduced. A standing ovation, full house. And these are just the substitutes. So there's no lack of affection for the Yankees, who miraculously came back to win the American League pennant, but find themselves now 2 games down to the National League champions, the Los Angeles Dodgers. New York is supposed to be a cold, heartless place. That segment of the population must have stayed home tonight, because tonight, as you hear, the stadium is bathed in affection for their American League champions, and these cheers are just for the trainers. And now Yogi Berra and Elston Howard, all the old heroes first. Gene Michaels, the stick, who coaches at first base. Well, we could go on and on. As you can imagine, the fans are going to go on and on. But what about the possibilities in this game? These two, the Dodgers and the Yankees, have met in World Series play 9 times. And 5 of those times, one team has won the first 2 games. And 3 of those times, that team has gone on to win. And 2 of the times, the team that started off behind the 2 games went on to win. It all began in 1947 when the Yankees won the first 2 games and then went on to win the series. That was the game where the Yankees lost that Bill Bevins one-hitter. And the final game, Gianfrido stopped
Joe DiMaggio, but the Yankees won it with Joe Page 5-2. The second time it happened was 53. The Yankees won it. After winning the first two, that was Billy Martin's year when he batted .500. The third time it happened was in 55. When the Dodgers lost the first two games, but then came back to win the series. Johnny Padres, the youngster of the Dodgers staff in those years, he was just 23, won the third game, and the Amoros Cats won it for Padres in the seventh game. Let's see whom they're introducing now. He's got to be a great star. Ed Figueroa. Well, he did win 8 and lose 2 in the surge for the Yankees as they came to overcome the Boston Red Sox. Paul Lindblad, the left-hander from Oakland originally, who joined the Yankee staff late. Cliff Johnson, the big smiling right-handed bomber who gets in occasionally to pinch hit. No use fighting this crowd. We've got to go with them. Ken Clay, substitute pitcher, had a save in the series against Kansas City. Jim Beattie, who may start tomorrow, youngster from Dartmouth, won against Kansas City in the opening game of the playoffs. Mike Heath, the Yankee catcher of the future. Should Munson be traded or wear out, one or the other has got to happen. And Rich Gossett, the big, strong relief pitcher who has been so important in the Yankee surge, both regular and playoff games. Now watch the heavens open up, or listen. First comes out pigeon-toed Mickey Rivers, who despite his hamstring is going to start tonight. You'll remember in the second game at Los Angeles, he was replaced. Gary Thomason played for him. Roy White is going to bat second. Oh, reliable of the current Yankee surge. Roy's had a fairly decent season. And the captain, Thurman Munson. White has had 3 out of 9. Munson has been below his normal average. He's only had 1 hit out of 8. But it was his climactic homer in the third game of the Kansas City series that won it. And here is the Candyman. Loser in the confrontation with he and Bob Welch in the second game in Los Angeles a couple of nights ago. And now what you hear in the background is Lou Piniella. He's going to play right field tonight. Probably the surest of the Yankee hitters. Always manages to get a piece of the ball, not always safely, of course. He's 3 out of 8. Graig Nettles, who had for him, a lackluster night in Los Angeles. He struck out 3 times and was in a position to put the Yankees in the game, but it was not to be his night. Here's Chris Chambliss returning to the lineup. He's got a bad wrist. Reggie Jackson is joshing with somebody over there in the Los Angeles line. I think it's Dusty Baker. At any rate, all is not tense. Brian Doyle comes out, the second place replacement for Willie Randolph, and Brian has got the biggest chew I have ever seen. I don't know what he's chewing, but it's sticking out there like a baseball. Bucky Dent, the hero of the game up in Boston. Sure-handed shortstop, and he's been hitting more than his weight. Well, we started to tell you about who could do what as Bob Lemon comes out. One other time, and this time it was the Yankees, lost the first 2 games and came back to win the series 4-3. In 1956 it happened. That was the year that Larson pitched the perfect game in the 5th game. The Dodgers about to be extinguished. Clem Labine came back to beat Bob Turley 1-0 in 10 innings, and then the Yanks won it easily. The 7th game, 9-0. And now, Robert Merrill, live and in good health, and the national anthem.
With the world-renowned Robert Merrill, as we honor America with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er the ramparts we watched was so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We'll be right back after this word.
America the Mobile. You have the freedom to go where you please. But moving to another town can create certain problems, such as where to go to finance that new car or truck. Well, we're the Ford Motor Credit Company. And once you've established credit with us, you can go to any Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealer anywhere in the country. And as an established customer, your credit application will be handled quickly and conveniently. At Ford Credit, we give special consideration to individuals with unusual credit problems, to people who've just moved or started a new job. And Ford Credit is as close as your Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealer. So remember, when you're buying or leasing a new car or truck, Ford Credit wants to give you credit for being you. Tell your Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealer you'd like to finance with us. Ford Motor Credit.
Well, your big TV debate will be on the air in 30 seconds, Senator.
Fine, Hank, fine.
Don't worry, sir. You're the incumbent, and you'll eat 'em up.
Right.
Oh, there's your opponent now.
20 seconds, gentlemen. Hank, what's my opponent carrying under his arm there?
It's a Time magazine.
Oh, no. It's probably this week's. I haven't even read it.
Easy, sir.
Hank, he'll be on top of everything. World affairs, law, economics, the movie reviews. I'll sound like a dodo out there.
10 seconds,
He'll
please.
be bright. He'll be witty. And
Senator, don't put your thumb in your mouth.
Unless he only had time to look at the magazine's cover. Oh, no.
Stand by, please.
Hank, I don't even know who's on Time's cover this week.
Sir.
Can you see who's on Time's cover?
Oh, I can't
What
see.
if they ask me who's on Time's cover? What am I going to say?
And now, the candidates debate. On the left, we have the incumbent, Senator
Ethel Merman. No, she was on the cover of something else.
Senator.
Bobby V. Bobby Vinton. Leon Bobby.
Senator, all we want.
I know what you want. Is it a picture of a mummy?
Just the name.
The mummy's name is Debbie. King Debbie.
Time magazine, the most colorful coverage of the week. Pick up a copy.
Win Elliot with Ross Porter back at Yankee Stadium for the 3rd game of the World Series. The Dodgers have it 2-0. Joe DiMaggio has just been announced as throwing out the first pitch, and out he comes. Oh, he looks great. So natty. Actually going out to the pitcher's mound to throw it into a youngster who won the competition for the honor to get it. And Joe with a half windup and a toss, and it's strike 1, strike 2, and 3, and Joe has done it. We're ready to get underway. Pitching for the Dodgers will be Don Sutton. And what a pitcher he's been for the Dodgers. This 33-year-old, 13 years with the club. This will be his 5th start in the World Series for L.A. He's won 2 and lost none. He won in 1974 and 1977. And Don, so literate and a sophisticate, looking forward to a career in broadcasting, now is the most Dodger pitcher in wins, shutouts, strikeout leader, games started, innings pitched, hits given up, and walks. What more could you ask from a guy who's already won 205 and lost 155? Coming out onto the field, the New York Yankees. And tonight they'll be led by the phenom of baseball, 28-year-old Ron Guidry, who won 25 and lost only 3 last year. He led the majors in wins, percentages, ERA 15 times. He was a stopper for the Yankees, beating the opposition after the New Yorks had lost a game. 89.9% was his percentage, the highest of any 20-game winner in the history of baseball. He's 28, but don't think he was born yesterday. He spent 6 years in the minor leagues, where his average was just 50-50. So, as Judy Garland said in Star is Born, I didn't come here just yesterday. I was born in a trunk. She in Pocatello, Idaho, the Bayou Bomber in Lafayette, Louisiana, where he still lives. And he is the absolutely hafta-hurler that the Yankees are depending on tonight. All this is presented by authority of Major League Baseball, intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, and retransmission of other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is prohibited. Well, Ross Porter of the Los Angeles Dodgers broadcast crew is here with us as he was last year, and it's a smile of anticipation on his face as we're ready to go, Ross.
Thank you very much, Win, and good evening, everyone. Yankee Stadium, New York, Friday the 13th, and both clubs hoping it's not an unlucky Friday the 13th for them in Game 3 of the 1978 World Series. And the Dodger captain, Davey Lopes, stands in from the right side, and left-hander Ron Guidry goes to the windup, and the first pitch of the night on the way is a fly ball to Mickey Rivers in center. Rivers turns, goes back, he's got a play, and he makes the catch. So Davey Lopes, for the 13th consecutive game, does not get on base in the first inning. And yet Lopes had a tremendous finishing touch as the Dodgers won the National League pennant for the 3rd time in 5 years. One away, and that'll bring on Bill Russell. Russell so far in the series is 4 for 9. Lopes was 3 for 9. Davey with 5 runs batted in and 2 home runs, of course, in Game 1. The umpires tonight, John Kibler of the National League working behind the plate. Marty Springstead of the American League at first. Frank Pulley of the National League at second. First pitch to Russell is high. Joe Brinkman of the American League is at third. Ed Vargo of the National League down the left field line, and Bill Haller of the American League down the right field line. Here's Ron Guidry's 1-0 pitch to Russell. Broken bat looper to right center field. Rivers comes up, but it drops in front of him for a base hit. So the Dodgers going after the first or second pitch from Guidry here in the first inning tonight. Lopes fly to Rivers, and Russell reached out and poked one for his 5th hit of the series. And that's the key, when Lopes and Russell get on base, the Dodgers seem to be able to maneuver. Last year, you recall, the 2 of them collectively hit only 160 between them in the 6 games of the series.
But this is the year that they commonly refer to as wait till.
Reggie Smith batting from the right side takes the first pitch from Guidry high for a ball.
And Ron has been high on the first 3 batters. The fly that Lopes hit was way out, about 10 feet this side of the center field fence.
Reggie Smith, who's not had a home run in more than a month, takes high and inside from Guidry, ball 2, 2-0. Guidry with an excellent fastball and an excellent slider. Sometimes that slider looks as if it's thrown as hard as the fastball. Reggie Smith, 2 for 9 in the series. 1 RBI, waits for the 2-0 pitch and takes high, ball 3. 3-0. The Dodgers would like nothing better than to get a good jump on Ron Guidry, because he's one of those classic examples of a pitcher who just seems to get better as the game progresses. Timeout for the moment. There's some distraction behind the plate, and 49-year-old John Kibler, who's working in his 2nd World Series, moves somebody out from behind home plate. They may have had a mirror or something distracting Guidry. 3-0 pitch to Smith, swings and misses, strike 1. So they turn Reggie Smith loose, took a good cut, didn't get it. 3-1. John Kibler joined the National League umpiring staff 15 years ago after 5 years in the minor league. Guidry out of a stretch. Russell goes. Smith swings and misses. Munson's throw and a hop is in time.
Boy, it didn't look like he was going to get him. Looked like he'd actually beaten the throw. The ball bounced on the right side of the base, but Doyle managed to get it in a glove and slip it back before Russell could get there. That was a big play.
Excellent play by Brian Doyle on the one-hop throw, and National League umpire Frank Pulley called him out. 3-2 to Reggie Smith, who swung through the pitch. Guidry to the windup, and the next one, high, ball 4. So by sending Russell on a 3-1 hit-and-run play, the Dodgers may have lost a chance at a big inning in the first. Smith, with a 2-out walk, is on at first, and here's Steve Garvey. Garvey 3 for 8 in the series this year, still looking for his first RBI. He's hitting .377 in World Series play during his career. And what a year he had. 46 hits in the month of September alone when he batted .430 for the Dodgers. The first one to Garvey. Slider for a called strike. Ron Guidry faced the Dodgers in the 4th game of the World Series last year in Los Angeles and pitched a complete game 4-2 victory. The next one to Garvey. Ground ball to short. Fielded by Bucky Dent. The short way to second for the force out on Smith. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. At the end of a half an inning, Dodgers nothing, and the Yankees coming up to face Don Sutton for the first time.
Hey, sports fans, did you know that now there's a great way to enjoy the series at home? And I'm talking about Mellow Roast coffee and grain beverage. Mellow Roast starts with 3 kinds of rich, robust coffees and then blends in roasted grain to take away the bitter edge. So you enjoy full-flavored coffee taste without bitterness. And that should make any sports fan a Mellow Roast fan, too. Pick up some Mellow Roast at your supermarket today and enjoy great coffee taste without bitterness. It's available in ground and instant.
Take your contact, take it now. Give your cold to Contact.
I'm going to change your mind about nighttime cold medicine. You see, of all major medicines, only one works up to 12 hours against the cloggy virus symptoms that keep you awake. Only Contact. 1 capsule's relief stays with you all through a long night's sleep, no matter what cold virus attacks. Only Contact.
Give your cold to Contact.
Take only as directed.
And so the Dodgers went down in their half of the first inning, not without a try, though. An attempted steal of second base by Bill Russell went astray, and that really snuffed out the Dodgers' chances. Lopes fly deep to center. Russell singled. He was caught stealing. Munson to Doyle. Then a base on balls, and Garvey grounded to short. So like last night, the Yankees coulda, shoulda, but didn't. Tonight, perhaps the Dodgers will look back to this inning as one in which they missed an opportunity that isn't going to come around again. Guidry in the first inning was high. When he is truly effective, he is low. In fact, many of the batters go for bad balls thrown in the dirt. But that was Guidry in the first inning. Okay, Russ, the Yanks.
Like Ron Guidry, Don Sutton has never lost a World Series game win. He registered the Dodgers' only victory in the 1974 series against Oakland. Last year, he did not figure in the decision in Game 1 here at Yankee Stadium, a game New York won in 12 innings. And then Sutton turned around and in Game 5 in Los Angeles, blanked the Yanks for 6 innings. By that time, the Dodgers were breezing 10-0, and they won it 10-4. Mickey Rivers, back into the Yankee lineup tonight after a one-night absence, leans over from the left side and fouls the first one back from Sutton. Rivers was 0 for 4 in the first game of the series, bothered by a painful hamstring injury. Ron Say plays him way up on the grass at third. Say, Russell, Lopes, and Garvey around the Dodger infield. Yeager behind the plate. And there's a foul ball out of play off to the left side by Mickey Rivers, 0-2. The Dodgers with Dusty Baker in left, Bill North in center tonight, and Reggie Smith in right. Don Sutton has won 205 games in his illustrious career for the Dodgers in regular season play. 5 more in postseason action. Breaking ball, loop to center, base hit. So Rivers was in a hole 0-2. They just reached out and punched one in the shallow center field, and the Yankees have their first man aboard. And when he gets aboard, New York seems to move better, too.
Ross, you put it correctly. He reached out. Mickey seems to be able to reach out or dink out or somehow manage to get a bat on the ball. And now, hamstring or no, he is a threat at first base as Roy White, the careful, deliberate hitter, comes to the plate.
Sutton's first one to Roy White is in for a called strike. White, 34 years old, a Southern Californian. He was born in Compton, California. Same hometown of Reggie Smith of the Dodgers. Rivers leans away from first. Don Sutton, who'll be 34 in April, looks at him, goes to the stretch, and the pitch to White. Pop foul out of play, off to the left over the Dodger dugout. Sutton needs only 5 more wins in National League play to become the winningest Dodger of all time, eclipsing Don Drysdale's 209 victories. The stretch by Sutton. White waits. Rivers leads away, and now Sutton backs off the mound. Now the 0-2 pitch to White. High and outside. Yeager a bluff throw to first. Weather is a factor as we start tonight. The weatherman says there is a 90% chance of rain later tonight here in New York. They are hopeful to get this one in. 70 degrees at game time, humidity 73%, and winds out of the south at 14 miles per hour. Breaking ball is outside to Roy White, ball 2-2-2.
That one took a certain amount of courage to take. That was not outside by much.
Neither team has scored in the first inning yet in this series. And the only other inning without any runs being tallied so far, the 9th inning. Sutton throws to first just to keep Rivers close. To hit a home run here and be certain of one, you got to pull the ball sharply. 312 feet down the left field foul line, 310 to the corner in right field. And then it juts out sharply. 387 to left center, 430, 417, 385, and 353 to right center. Rivers goes, a pitch high. Yeager's throw to Russell, and they got Rivers by 5 feet. Ball 3 taken by Roy White, but Steve Yeager, with one of the best arms in the game, gunned down the gimpy-legged Mickey Rivers.
And there was no question they had him dead to rights. And so both the Dodger and the Yankee have gone down attempting to steal in this first inning. And Roy White, very careful at the plate, with 2 strikes, has now evaded 3 of them.
Here's Sutton's 3-2 pitch coming to Roy White. A drive to right field and deep. Smith goes back, away back, fair foul. It's gone. A home run for Roy White.
No question about that one, all the way. The only question was, would it be fair or foul? Right on the nose. And almost in exactly the same spot that White hit his home run that beat Kansas City just last week. And so the Yankee fans are wondering now, what if Mickey hadn't run? It would be 2-0 instead of 1. But that's the way she goes. And the Yankees are up. Roy White's home run, 1-0. And a frisbee or some article comes floating down around first base. And we'll have a momentary halt. That's White's first home run in this series.
Don Sutton has been plagued by the home run ball throughout his career, but like most good control pitchers, a Dover ball will come up and haunt you, and it did that time. So 1-0 Yankees, and here's Thurman Munson. And the New York captain swings and misses at a breaking ball from Sutton. Sutton gave up 29 home runs during the regular season, second only to Steve Carlton of the Phillies, who yielded 30. Munson waiting. Thurman 1 for 8 in the series, and Sutton's pitch is outside, 1-1. Roy White, then, is hitting .400 in the first 3 games of the series. And his drive to right into the corner puts New York on top 1-0. Sutton, a 15-game winner this year, goes to the windup, and a 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed by Munson, 1-2. Sutton has seemingly had about 1 bad inning in each of his 11 losses this year. He might give up 3 or 4 runs in an inning, and usually a home run bites him. And then he'll turn around and put together a string of consecutive mini retires. There's a breaking ball that Munson lays off. 2-2.
I doubt that would have been a home run in Dodger Stadium. Ross, you know the field better.
It would have been close. White's first World Series home run. Munson takes call, strike 3, and Sutton got him, maybe with a slider on the inside corner, right below the belt. So there's the first strikeout of the night. 2 away, and here's Reggie Jackson. Sutton led the Dodgers in strikeouts this year with 154. He also was tops on the staff in complete games with 12. And now he must look at Reggie Jackson, who belted a home run off of him at Dodger Stadium last year in the 5th game. The first one to Reggie. Breaking ball is outside. What a classic confrontation we saw the night before last in Los Angeles. Reggie Jackson against young Bob Welch in the 9th inning. That's got to go down in history as one of the great epic duels of this game. The next one from Sutton's outside, 2-0. Jackson drove in all 3 runs in the Yankees' 4-3 loss in Game 2. 4 for 8 in the series. The next one from Sutton on the outside corner for a strike, 2-1. Yankees 1, Dodgers nothing. Bottom of the 1st. Roy White, who had only 8 home runs during the regular season for the Yanks, flaps one into the seats with 1 gone in the 1st tonight, and the Bombers are up. The next pitch from Sutton. High and outside with a fastball. 3-1 to Jackson. Lou Piniella on deck. 2 out, bases empty. Tomorrow in Game 4, the Yankees will pitch Ed Figueroa, and the Dodgers will counter with Tommy John. Airtime 3:15 over the CBS Radio Network. The 3-1 pitch to Jackson on the outside corner, strike 2, 3-2. Sutton has never won fewer than 11 games in a season for the Dodgers since he joined them in 1966. He's averaged nearly 16 victories this season. He has been in many pressure games for them. The 3-2 pitch to Jackson. Outside, ball 4, and Jackson's aboard. That'll bring on Lou Piniella, who's 3 for 8 in the series with 1 run batted in. One of the truly fine, pure hitters in the American League. Lou hit .314 during the year. One of the veterans on the New York Ball Club at age 35.
Ross, I've never seen anybody hit a ball off the shoe tops any better than Piniella. Sometimes the way he gets a bat on the ball is almost miraculous.
Sutton's first one to Piniella is a fastball in the inside corner of the letters. Strike 1. Yankees 1, Dodgers nothing. Bottom of the 1st. Roy White's home run to right has given Ron Guidry an early lead. Sutton looks at Reggie Jackson. Here's the 1-strike pitch to Piniella. Slider is outside, 1-1.
Notice how Lou can wait until almost the last minute. It seemed to be watching that ball. Ted Williams had, of course, probably the best eyes any batter has ever had, but Lou has got to have an awfully good set of orbs.
1 ball, 1 strike to Piniella. Don Sutton and Ron Guidry have one thing in common. As youngsters, both were Yankee fans. Sutton in Florida, Guidry in Louisiana. Here they are dueling tonight in the 3rd game of the 1978 World Series. Sutton at the belt. Jackson goes. The 1-1 pitch is a drive to right center field. Bill North racing to the alley. He's there to make the one-handed catch. And so the speed of Bill North saves the Dodgers a run as Piniella shot one up the gap. And North was able to outrun it and make the catch for the final out. The Yankees get a run on 2 hits. They leave 1. And at the end of 1 in Game 3, Yankees 1, Dodgers nothing.
The day is done. Coming home. It's time to let it go. It's the moment to unwind. Welcome home. So just say bud. Say bud. And pour the king of beers and settle back and please yourself. No matter what you do, no matter when or where, you know a glass of bud is like an easy chair when you say
tell you, friend, settling back with a long day behind you and a cold bud in front of you, man, that's living.
When you say Budweiser, you said it all.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
This bulletin just into WCBS News Radio 88. The jury in the spy trial of two Soviet citizens, Vladimir Enger, he's 39 years old, and 43-year-old Rudolf Cherniev, has been found defendants both guilty on all counts. Also, that is the latest word that we have from Newark, New Jersey. The jury in the spy trial of those two Soviet citizens who were accused of spying and apparently selling some Navy secrets to the Soviet Union have been found guilty by a jury in Newark, New Jersey. That's the latest word that we have. This is WCBS News 88 New York. The time is now a minute past 9 o'clock, and now back to the World Series.
Yeah, he started them off right in the first inning by walloping it into the right field stands. 1-2-0, 2 hits for the Yankees. Rivers started off with a single. The Dodgers had a single hit in their half of the first inning, and we go to the top of the second, Ross.
Ron Cey was the Dodgers' batting hero in Game 2 with his 3-run homer off Catfish Hunter in the 6th inning. Guidry's first pitch to him is swung on and missed. Last year, when Guidry beat the Dodgers in the 4th game of the series in L.A., 4-2, he allowed only 4 hits, and Ron Cey had 2 of them, a double and a single. Davey Lopes had a 2-run homer, and pitcher Rick Rhoden had the other hit, a double. Neither Reggie Smith nor Steve Garvey got the ball out of the infield against Guidry in that game. Cey takes a fastball for a called strike, and it's 0-2. Guidry struck out 7 Dodgers in Los Angeles last October. That was a game, you recall. Lou Piniella reached over the wall to rob Cey of a home run. The Yankees were ahead at the time, only 3-2. Here's Guidry's 0-2 pitch. A drive down the left field line at the foul pole, and foul back into the crowd. Got Cey out just a little bit in front of it.
Not by much. I think we should report, Ross, that every time Guidry gets 2 strikes on a batter, the crowd starts a chant, or at least gets to its feet, starts making noise in anticipation of a strikeout. Every time they do it.
Cey drove in all 4 runs for the Dodgers on Wednesday night in Game 2. In fact, it was Ron Cey 4, Reggie Jackson 3. Here's Guidry's 0-2 pitch to Cey. Inside, just missed with that one, 1-2. The crowd wanted it. Since he joined the Yankees, Guidry has won 80% of his decisions, and as Wynn tells you, he won almost 90% of them this year. A phenomenal year, 25-3. The 1-2 pitch to Cey. Swung on and missed, chased the slider.
You've heard the jingle, I love New York. Well, there's another one. New York loves Guidry. As long as he's in this game tonight, you're going to hear them come to every pitch and everything this young man does. He is so unassuming. I'm tempted to say simple, but I don't mean it in that way. For a great star, and he is one on the basis of this year, he is unusual.
Dusty Baker, 3 for 7 in the series, takes a pitch high for a ball. Guidry with his first strikeout of the night. 8 times this year, he had 10 strikeouts or more in a game, including 18 against the Angels one night. There's a called strike to Baker, 1-1. Baker always seems to perform well in postseason competition. He has the last 2 years. 323 in the series. Takes high ball 2, 2-1. And counting League Championship Series action, Dusty is hitting 367 in those 2 years. Guidry's set. And the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. There's a rising fastball.
That was up under his chin.
2-2. Awfully hard wind for the batters to stay away from that pitch. Often they'll swing at what would have been called a ball, but they don't know that when the ball's halfway to the plate.
And here's the anticipation of the crowd. As I told you, every time Ron gets to 2 strikes, and Dusty, to break the rhythm, to break the spell, backs out. Now he's back in.
Here's Guidry's 2-2 pitch on the way to Baker. Breaking ball low and inside. 3-2. John Kibler asked to look at the baseball, and he'll keep it in play. To show you how fantastic Guidry has been, he has won 36 of his last 40 decisions. 90%. 3-2 pitch to Baker. Grounded foul sharply to the third base coaching line behind Preston Gomez. Jim Lefevre coaching first for the Dodgers. Yankees 1, Dodgers nothing. Top of the second. Roy White's one-out homer off Don Sutton into the seats in right has given New York the lead. On deck, Lee Lacy. Guidry's 3-2 pitch to Baker. High, ball 4. And Guidry has walked his second man in 2 innings. Lee Lacy is 1 for 6 in the series. He's being used by Tommy Lasorda as the Dodgers' designated hitter. Lacy, a very fine hitter, had 5 pinch home runs among the 13 he banged for Los Angeles this year. 1 on, 1 out, second inning. 1-0 Yankees. Guidry out of a stretch. The first one to Lacy. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Strike 1. The Yankees must win 4 of the remaining 5 games in this series, or 4 straight. And Guidry trying to get them untracked here tonight. Run out of a stretch, the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball bounced to third, might be 2. Nettles goes down to Doyle, back to Chambliss, double play. No runs, no hits, nobody left. At the end of an inning and a half, Yankees 1, Dodgers nothing.
At Kinney, we couldn't improve on our boots, so we improved on our price. Now through October 23rd, up to $5 off on boots to go at the Great American Shoe Store.
I'd like a pair of the 14-inch snoot boots to take out, please.
Certainly, sir. Now, would you like that with a little zip on the side?
A zip, yeah.
A big selection of boots to go at Kinney, all current and up to $5 off. Boots for every member of the family.
Tell you what.
What?
Give me 1 snoot, the padded lining,
Okay.
and 1 horse boot. And hold the stitching on that, could you?
You got it, partner.
We couldn't improve our boots, so we improved our price, up to $5 off. But remember, now through October 23rd only.
I'd like 1 tan heel with strap, and 1 brick wedge, please.
Yes.
And maybe for my young daughter, the whip
Stitch boot special.
How did you know?
Well, boots to go at Kinney. Fast and friendly service. Step up to Kinney and place your order now. And really step out in boots to go. From Kinney, the Great American Shoe Store.
Yankees coming to bat in the last half of the second and leading 1-0. Roy White's homer into the right field stands in that first inning, the difference, and I think I should report to you, it's fun. San Diego has the chicken, and various of the teams have developed mascots. Well, the Yankees, whether they like it or not, have got a fellow with a hair that looks like a mulberry bush, but it's dyed 4 different colors. Green, orange, red, yellow, 5, blue. And he's up there dancing, and the crowd is loving it. And why wouldn't they? The Yanks lead 1-0. I suspect if one of the Dodgers puts one away pretty soon, he won't be so much fun to watch. But right now, all is content at Yankee Stadium at the last half of the second inning as Graig Nettles, who struck out 3 times last night, Ross, comes to the bat.
Nettles is 1 for 8 in the series. Graig hit 27 home runs this year for New York, the same figure as Reggie Jackson, and Don Sutton's first pitch is swung on and missed, and Nettles with a mighty cut at that one. Sutton tied Don Drysdale this year as the club's all-time leader in shutouts with 49. He had 2 during the season. One of those personal milestones Sutton wants to achieve before he retires. The 0-1 pitch to Nettles. A drive foul outside of first. It may go to the seats. Smith comes over to take a look, but it's back in. So Nettles, a high pop-up foul down the right field line, halfway to the corner, and a count 0-2. Talking about Don Drysdale, Sutton surpassed him in June as the all-time Los Angeles Dodgers strikeout leader. He now has 2,378 in his career, 3rd behind Drysdale and Sandy Koufax. He's a little over 100 behind Drysdale. He's only 18 back of Koufax. But remember, Don and Sandy had some days in Brooklyn to notch some strikeouts early. Nettles drives another one foul to the upper deck. Quite a shot, but far foul. Talk about getting around quickly, Win.
If he'd have straightened that one up, it would have been in the second deck. Some of Greg's teammates seem to think he's jerking his head and losing sight of the ball as he's swinging. Well, he didn't do it that time, but he didn't get it fair.
Don Sutton winds on the 0-2 pitch, way outside for a ball, 1-2. Chris Chambliss on deck, Brian Doyle to follow. Bottom of the second inning, Yankee Stadium, Game 3 of the World Series, and the Yanks lead 1-0 on Roy White's first inning home run. Sutton to his windup, and the 1-2 pitch to Nettles, a ground ball to Davy Lopes. Backhanded, goes through him. Lopes slipped as he was about to field the ball going to his right. We'll see how they score it. Davy on that kind of a ball will side straddle it almost always. He's a converted outfielder, and that's one of the things that he really never has learned to do. On a hot shot at him, he will often do just what he did there, and they'll give Nettles a base hit.
I think he deserved it. Ball got out there so quickly, side saddle or not, it was through and by him so fast.
Chris Chambliss back in the Yankee lineup after missing Game 2 with a tendon injury on his right hand. Takes inside from Sutton for ball.
He played the first game, Ross, all bandaged up, as you remember. Took batting practice with the bandage, but now I see he's without it.
Chris 1 for 4 in the series. He's hit in 5 consecutive World Series games for the Yanks. Sutton's pitch. Fastball is inside, 2-0 to Chambliss. Sutton's bread and butter pitch is the curveball. He has one of the best in the game. Over the last 6 seasons, Sutton and Steve Carlton of the Phillies have won 103 games, the most of any pitchers in the National League. Sutton okays Yeager's sign, 2-0 pitch. Called strike, outside corner, 2-1.
Ross, Garvey is not exactly playing on the back, just a step off, but they've left a lot of ground between first and second for Chambliss, and he often hits it there.
2-1 pitch to Chambliss, outside ball 3. So Sutton falling behind the hitters tonight. Now 3-1 to Chris Chambliss. Some managers like this spot to play hit and run. Let's see if Bob Lemon chooses to do so. Nobody out on the second inning. Good lead for Nettles. Sutton looks at him, backs off the mound. Sutton does not have a good pickoff move to first. In fact, very few of the Dodger pitchers do have good pickoff moves. 3-1 pitch, the runner does not go, and it's ball 4 to Chambliss, high. Sutton walks his second man, so first and second, nobody out for the Yankees. Brian Doyle coming up with Bucky Dent to follow. And the Dodgers here have to be looking for a bunt.
I would think so, because neither of the Yankee runners are particularly fast, and Bucky Dent has been very sure in these kind of situations should they move the runners down. Doyle can get a piece of the ball almost every time, especially for a rookie. I think he'll bunt.
Doyle 1 for 3 in the series. The Dodgers look for the bunt, and the pitch is bunted, foul behind the plate. So Garvey charging from first. Say didn't come quite as far because he's hopeful that Garvey could feel the bunt and they get the force out over at third base. And now activity begins in the Dodger bullpen. A left-hander is up. That's Lance Rotson. A single and a walk, giving the Yankees another chance in the second. The stretch by Sutton. The left-hand hitting Doyle around a bunt. Bunts in the air, foul, and Say won't get to it. And it's 0-2. So Brian Doyle, upset at himself, takes a stroll. Sutton, in his 13 years in the National League, has not been troubled too much by wildness. He has a strikeout to walk ratio of 3-1, which is very good for any pitcher. But he lost Chambliss after Nettles got the single through Lopes to lead off the second. Let's see if Doyle still is bunting on 0-2. The stretch by Sutton. Garvey plays back at first, and the pitch is a ground ball to short. Russell's got it. Over to Lopes for 1. That's the only play they have. Good rolling block by Chris Chambliss prevents a try for a double play. A team play right there by Chris Chambliss.
I don't think he would have been able to make the play to first under any circumstances. The ball was directly up the middle of the diamond. He had to go to his left to get it. It wasn't that hard hit. And I think Doyle had the base anyway, but Chambliss, whether he's got a bad wrist or not, rolled into the base, and Russell had no chance to get away a throw of any kind. So it's Dent up. Yanks on first and third, 1 out, Ross.
Bucky 2 for 8 in the series, a pesky hitter. chokes up on the bat from the right side, and Sutton's pitch to him is a curveball that stays high. Ball 1. Nettles at third, Doyle at first. Sutton out of the stretch. The 1-0 pitch to Dent. Curveball popped up foul. Yeager coming back. Will he have room? He's at the base, and he does not. It's back in about 4 rows. So he came to the box seat railing, but it was back in, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike to Bucky Dent. Don Sutton comes down to the plate, picks up the mask, and has Yeager. Looks like a butler as he goes back up there and gives it to him.
Yeah. Don is a cool cucumber. He's probably one of the most sophisticated ball players in the business. If he has every pitch, he also has every word.
Yankees 1, Dodgers nothing, and New York trying to get more here in the second inning. A single, a walk, and a force out. Runners at first and third. Dent waiting. Sutton stretches. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball to third. Say has to wait for it. Goes down to second for 1. Back to first on a bounce. Too late. Run is over. Say had to back up on the ball and then go to his left to get it. And by the time he got the ball to Lopes, Doyle was able to tie up Davey, and Davey tried to take it and then make a barehanded throw, and he one-hopped it to Garvey, but by that time Dent had flashed across the bag anyway, and the Yanks lead 2-0.
Yeah, no chance on the double play. Good try on both sides, both ends, but Dent just beat it out.
Bucky Dent drives in his first run of the series. Mickey Rivers takes a pitch high. So the Yankees with single runs in the first and the second. And when you're facing Ron Guidry as the Dodgers are, you can't afford to give up too many. Rivers singled in the first inning and was thrown out trying to steal. White followed with a home run. Ground ball, base hit, right field. Dent will stop at second, respecting the arm of Reggie Smith. And the Yankee inning continues. Rivers is 2 for 2. That's 4 hits off Sutton. And here's Roy White, the home run man. Sutton has already thrown 42 pitches in this game. That is a lot of pitches for 1 2/3 innings. The first one to White is inside for a ball. New York 2, Los Angeles nothing. Bottom of the second, game 3. 2 on, 2 out. Sutton's 1-0 pitch to White on the inside corner for a strike. Left-hander Lance Roxon continues to throw in the Dodger bullpen in left field. Thurman Munson out on deck. Bucky Dent at second. Mickey Rivers at first. Don Sutton at the belt. The 1-1 pitch to White. Outside and low, ball 2, 2-1. The Yankees got 3 men aboard in the first inning, but one of them, Rivers, was thrown out trying to steal. They've had 2 singles and a walk and then 2 force outs here in the second. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball to Lopes. 3 hopper. Davey backs up, fields it on to Garvey in time, and that'll do it for the Yankees. But New York adds a run on 2 hits and strands 2. And at the end of 2 in Game 3 of the World Series, Yankees 2, Dodgers nothing.
Fill her with Getty unleaded regular, please.
Hey, Clarice, you see that guy getting gas across the island? You know who that is?
No, Lester.
That guy is Jackie Stewart. Do you realize he's won 3 world driving championships?
Hey, Jackie, what you doing here?
Buying gasoline.
You use Getty, too?
Hey, Clarice, Jackie Stewart uses the same gasoline as Lester J. Boyle.
Well, you're in the big time now, Lester.
Hey, Jack, do you know something about Getty us regular everyday drivers don't know?
I know Getty unleaded regular burns clean like an unleaded.
I knew that.
But it's got the power of a regular gasoline.
Well, I knew that.
And it costs a few cents less than most other major unleadeds.
Is that important to great racing drivers?
To great Scottish racing drivers, it is.
Getty unleaded regular. More power for less money.
to the third inning. Ron having a little problem getting his ball down. He's had it high more than usual. And Sutton, having given up 4 hits, just is not the guy who is the most of all Dodger pitchers. But the game is close. It's got 8 innings to go. And anything can happen, as you know. We're coming up to the third inning, 2-0 in this absolutely gotta-go game for the New York Yankees. Okay, Ross, it looks like Ron has just about finished his warm-ups here. And coming to bat for the Los Angeles Dodgers will be Bill North, the center fielder, and they're lucky they have him in the lineup because in the first inning with that wallop by Lou Piniella to right center, he just barely got it, and he is much faster than Rick Mundy. In his one time up in the series, he bounced a ball over the head of third baseman Graig Nettles and got 2 Dodgers home. Okay, Ross.
Okay, win Bill North, Steve Yeager, and Davey Lopes for the Dodgers in the third inning. Guidry's allowed only 1 base hit, a broken bat single by Bill Russell with 1 out in the first. Guidry's first one to North, taken high for a ball. North, a much better hitter from the right side, although he is a switch hitter. He hit around 270 from the Dodgers on the right side, 210 on the left side. Guidry's 1-0 pitch, taken low and inside, ball 2, 2-0. Yankees 2, Dodgers nothing. The Yankees have left 3 men on base, the Dodgers 1. 2-0 pitch to North, foul back 2-1. The Yankees have left twice as many runners on base as the Dodgers in the series so far. Two and 1 to Bill North, who came to the Dodgers in May in a deal which sent outfielder Glenn Burke to Oakland. Guidry's 2-1 pitch. North runs up the bunt, holds back. It's high, ball 3, 3-1. And Guidry's still very high, Win, here in the third inning.
Yep. On almost every pitch. Just the second pitch was down. He's not coming over.
Ron to the windup in the 3-1 delivery, high and outside, ball 4. So Guidry walks his third man in 3 innings. And yet he's leading 2-0. Steve Yeager has 1 hit in the series in 7 at-bats. Guidry has been so sharp this year that in only 2 innings this season has he given up more than 2 runs in an inning. Milwaukee got 3 off of him in July one night, and Toronto got 3 off of him in September. Big lead for North, and Guidry goes over to first at Chambliss just to keep him close. North was second on the Dodger ball club in stolen bases during the year. He wound up with 27. Giant-sized lead, and he goes. A pitch to Yeager, breaking ball, hot strike, throw down, he's safe. The throw made Doyle leave his feet to get it. And the Dodgers, thinking they can run on Thurman Munson and his sore arm, make it 1 for 2 on steals tonight. So North at second, nobody out, and Yeager took a strike. Yeager waiting. Guidry reading Thurman Munson. Now the stretch. And they'll pitch to Yeager. Called strike 2. Yeager wanted to pull the trigger and couldn't do it. Yeager had an off year at the plate for the Dodgers. Steve batting .193 with 4 home runs and 23 runs batted in. But he's a great defensive catcher. Guidry stretches. And a pitch to Yeager. Broken back ground ball to the middleman, the shortstop Den, who turns and throws him out as North goes to third. So Yeager swung one-handed and almost guided it up the middle for a base hit. But Bucky then got to it.
And as slow as he is, he was just a step away from making it because the ball was hit rather slowly. And now the Dodgers have a man on third and only 1 out. And here is one of the Dodger candidates for MVP of the series so far, Mr. Davey Lopes. Those 2 home runs in the first game, 5 RBIs, and he opened this game with a long belt to center field. If he does it this time, the Dodgers will have a run with North on third.
Ron Guidry, who was second in the American League in strikeouts this year, would like one right here, and he delivers low to Lopes for a ball. Lopes asked John Kibler to look at it. And John now will run out in front of the plate to take a quick check of that baseball. He'll keep it in play. Guidry wound up the year with 248 strikeouts, only a dozen behind Nolan Ryan of the Angels. 1-0 to Lopes. North down the line from third, one out in the third inning. 2-0 Yankees. The pitch. Fastball is inside to Lopes. 2-0. The Yankees won 30 of the 35 games that Guidry started this year. He's ready, the 2-0 pitch, and Lopes lines one to Nettles, who spears it, and North gets back to the bag. A bullet, but right at Nettles, who had him played perfectly.
That's got to be luck. That ball was murdered right on the nose, pulled down to third base. Nettles wasn't quite sure he had it. As good a fielder as he was, that was more or less in self-defense. Now Guidry goes behind the mound, almost does a Roboski to get his concentration back. Now strides up to the plate again.
Here's Russell, who singled in the first inning, and Billy swings and misses with a slider.
Ron will do that every once in a while, go behind the mound and almost talk to himself. He says he doesn't talk to himself, but it's the same thing.
Here comes the one-strike pitch to Bill Russell outside for a ball, 1-1. A la Al Roboski.
Yeah. Not as dramatic, not as a ploy. He just does it.
2 out North at third. 2-0 Yankees in the third. Guidry to the windup, and the 1-1 pitch to Russell. Ground ball to Nettles is left. Dent backhands it. Long throw from shortstop. Safe. The run's in. Bang, bang play, but Russell beat it out. And he gets his first RBI of the series. That makes it 2-1 Yankees.
And interestingly enough, both Lopes and Russell pulled the ball on Guidry, which is not typical. They did get it to the left side.
The Dodgers come up with their second hit, and both of them off the bat of Bill Russell. Very close at first. Here's Reggie Smith, who walked his first time up. Guidry's pitch to Smith. Ground ball to third. Nettles dives, backhands it, gets up. Long throw to first. He got him. Another magnificent fielding play by Graig Nettles. No wonder he's a Gold Glove winner. The Dodgers get a run on one hit. They leave one at the end of 2.5. Yankees 2, Dodgers 1.
When you're traveling across our country, there's a sign you're gonna see. Looks like a big yellow sign. It's the sign of quality. Quality is the most comfortable place under the sun. That's our sign, let it shine. Stay where quality comfort shines. Quality is the most comfortable place under the sun.
When you've got business friends or relatives coming in from out of town, put them up under the sun at a nearby Quality Inn. They'll find a warm welcome waiting and all the comforts Quality Inns are famous for. Make an out-of-towner feel right at home. Call your local Quality Inn or call us toll-free for reservations at the most comfortable place under the sun.
Quality is the most comfortable place under the sun. Quality is.
We got us a ball game out here at Yankee Stadium tonight, my friends. The score 2-1 in favor of the Yankees. Latter half of the second and third inning coming up. But Ron Guidry, the great pitcher of baseball this year, is not quite as sharp. Not sharp as he has been all year. All year he's been perfect. He's almost perfect, but not quite in this game. He is a little wild. They're pulling him to the left side of the infield, and they managed to run in the last inning, although they only got one hit, they being the Los Angeles Dodgers. Right now, it's a run and 2 hits for the Dodgers. It's 2 and 4 for the New York Yankees. The Yankees, as they have in the first 2 games in this series, have been getting on, but have not been successful in bringing them home. They got 2 home. White, a home run in the first inning. That only took the 1 hit. In the second inning, it was 2 fielders' choices that got the run home for the Yankees. Now let's see what they'll do in inning number 3, Ross.
The crowd's still buzzing over that dazzling play by Graig Nettles to rob Reggie Smith of a base hit and get the Yankees out of the third inning. Thurman Munson leads off and takes a slider from Don Sutton for a called strike. Munson was called out on strikes in the first inning. That's the only K that Sutton has recorded so far tonight. Munson, Jackson, and Piniella. So Sutton has to go through the heavy guns here in the third inning. The wind up in the pitch. That's outside, bouncing away from Yeager. 1-1.
That backhand dive by Nettles is almost a daily occurrence whenever the Yankees play. Funny to say so, but it's almost commonplace. It wasn't as good a play as he pulled off on Garvey in Los Angeles.
Oh, that was an excellent play against Garvey. And so was this one tonight against Reggie Smith. Sutton's 1-1 pitch to Munson. Tried to check his swing. Did he go around? Kibler says yes. Strike 2. 1-2. So Sutton giving Munson a variety of breaking pitches, a slider and a curve. And he jumps ahead 1-2. Sutton is one of 3 Dodgers appearing in their 4th World Series. Jerry Gordy and Vic Davalillo are the others. Munson steps out, now back in waiting. Sutton winds in the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, strike 3. And Munson again could not check his swing in time, and for the second time tonight, Sutton punches him out. So Sutton's 2 strikeouts, both Thurman Munson.
And Munson's empty bat for the Yankees has hurt them, obviously. In the previous World Series, Munson has always managed to get his bat on the ball. In fact, against the Reds, he had something like 6 straight hits, all to right center. But he's been very uncertain in this series. Up 10 times, just 1 hit.
Reggie Jackson walked his first time up tonight. He's hit safely in his last 6 World Series games. Sutton's breaking ball to him is a high hopper to Lopes. Backs up, fields it from the outfield grass, throws out Jackson. 2 away. Lou Piniella had a base hit and an RBI taken away on a fine running catch by Bill North in the alley in right center field in the first inning. Yankees 2, Dodgers 1. Game 3. Tomorrow, weather permitting, will be on the air at 3:15 over the CBS Radio Network. With Game 4, Ed Figueroa pitches for the Yankees, Tommy John for the Dodgers. Happy year long tonight from Yankee Stadium, New York. Ross Porter with Win Elliott and Ralph Kiner. 2 out, bases empty, bottom of the 3rd. Piniella waits, and Sutton's first pitch to Lou. Swung on and missed, high fastball. When the Dodgers come up in the 4th, they'll have Garvey, Say, and Baker ready to face Guidry. If anybody's ever ready to face Guidry. Sutton winds, and the 0-1 pitch to Piniella bounced slowly foul up along 3rd, 0-2. Dick Hauser fields the ball in the coaching line at 3rd. This is Dick's final year with the Yankees. He's going to become a collegiate coach at the end of this year down in Florida, and we all wish him the best. Sutton waiting for Piniella. Now the 0-2 pitch on the way. Foul back. 0-2. Dick Hauser is going to go to Florida State University next year, become head coach. I think Woody Woodward, the former National League infielder, held that job. And Woody coming back in a major league capacity. Sutton's 0-2 pitch is inside to Piniella, 1-2. Gene Michael coaching at first for the Yankees. Gene, an ex-Dodger. 2 out, nobody on. 2-1 Yankees in the 3rd. Sutton's 1-2 pitch to Piniella. Line drive, base hit, left center field. North racing up to get the ball. Piniella with a wide turn, a long turn, but he'll hold on with a single. So Piniella is 1 for 2, and he could easily be 2 for 2. Here's Graig Nettles. 5 hits off Don Sutton, so I think it's fair to say, Win, that neither starter looks especially sharp right now.
No, and I think there's a feeling of apprehension here in the stadium because the anticipation was Guidry would mow them down. Now they're not so sure. And the Yankees seemingly are wasting hits, like Piniella with 2 outs. Well, Nettles could bring him home, but so far in this series, he has not.
Nettles singled and came around to score in the 2nd inning, and it's that run that now has the Yanks on top 2-1. Sutton out of a stretch, and the pitch is swung on and missed. Looked like the bottom dropped out of that one to Nettles, 0-1. Chris Chambliss waiting on deck. The Yankees happy to be home, and one of the reasons is they have that left-handed power here, which can hurt, as Roy White exhibited in the first inning. Nettles swings and misses. Yeager goes down to first. Just missed, getting Lou Piniella sliding back under Garvey's tag. Yeager loves to make that play behind the batter, especially a left-handed hitter.
And Pinella's not a gazelle, but in the latter part of the year, he was taking advantage of every inch of ground they would give him on the bases, and he ran them exceedingly well.
No balls and 2 strikes to Graig Nettles. 2 out, Lou Piniella aboard with a single. He goes, the pitch, low. Yeager's throw to Russell is not in time. Yeager's throw is on the left field side of the bag, and by just that much, Piniella was able to get in with a stolen base.
And like I say, Lou is more like a Sherman tank than he is a whippet, but he got a good jump. As you explained, Sutton doesn't have a particularly good move, but regardless, for Piniella to steal a base is an event, and he did get it. And he has been doing just that in the stretch drive and in the playoffs.
The count 1-2. To Nettles. There's a drive to right center field, but it's playable. Bill North is under it. Waits for it and makes the catch. So despite Lou Piniella's 4th stolen base of the season, 1 here in the series, the Yankees leave a man at second. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. And at the end of 3, in game 3, Yankees 2, Dodgers 1.
Well, today we're talking to the world's foremost feature fanatic.
That's right.
Sir, can you tell us why you purchased an A.B. Dick 990 copier?
It's the features, the little extras. Like on my cigarette lighter, I have a fly swatter attachment.
Really?
And on my ballpoint pen here, I have this device that tells me when it's snowing in Montana.
Oh, wait a minute. What does this have to do with the A.B. Dick 990 copier?
Well, that has a lot of features, too.
Such as?
It copies on any plain paper.
How big?
Up to 11 by 17 inches. On both sides.
Both sides?
Yep. And it copies on labels and even on my own letterhead.
Well, that's something, but a copier with features like these must feature pretty heavily in your bank balance.
Wrong-o. You see, the A.B. Dick 990 has all the features of most comparable copiers for about $2,000 less.
$2,000 less? That's amazing.
Well, it is really, because most of the little extras in life do cost extra. Like the backup lights on my shoes.
Yes.
They cost thousands, you know.
Yes, the A.B. Dick 990. A lot of copier, a lot of satisfaction.
Through 3, the Yanks lead it 2-1. We hope you're enjoying this World Series game. We hope you enjoyed the National League football action CBS is going to bring you every Monday night. And some weekend games and doubleheaders, too. You like golf? The Masters. Racing, the Triple Crown. Baseball's All-Star Game, the U.S. Open Tennis Championships, and a lot more. Why don't you listen here all year long? CBS Radio Sports and live coverage of your favorite events on CBS, your #1 radio network for news, programs, and sports. The story of this game, as it's beginning to unfold, is the Yankees again out-hitting the Dodgers, but again being unable to bring them home. They have 5 hits. They've left 4 runners in the first 3 innings, 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third. The Dodgers, on the other hand, with just 2 hits, have only left 2 and squeaked 1 home in the 3rd inning. So everybody's still in the ball game. Some apprehension because Guidry has not led a perfect as he had been, and he gets tested this inning with the meat of the Dodger batting Russ.
Steve Garvey, who likes to bunt, leads off for the Dodgers. Nettles way back at 3rd. He bunts in the air, but Guidry's going to catch it and makes the catch coming across the line. So Nettles was back, and Garvey tried to lay it down, as he did successfully more than a dozen times this year for the Dodgers, but he popped it up.
Tell you, Ross, that young man pitching out there has a reputation of being a fine hitter and an excellent fielder. In many ways, he's like young Bobby Shantz. Not young. Bobby Shantz used to pitch for the Philadelphia Athletics. Same size, almost as successful, and he was a fielding wizard, and so is Ron.
Ron Say struck out his first time up, leading off in the 2nd inning. 1 out, nobody on. Top of the 4th, 2-1 New York. Tomorrow, Tommy John and Ed Figueroa in Game 4. CBS airtime tomorrow afternoon, 3:30 Eastern Time, 3:15 Eastern Time. First pitch around 3:30. Say takes high for a ball. Guidry shut out opponents 9 times this year, tying Babe Ruth's American League record for a left-hander, set way back in 1916. Ron to Ron, and Guidry misses with a fastball high and away to say 2-0. Of course, one of the great games of the year occurred here at Yankee Stadium in June when Guidry struck out 18 Angels, the most of any left-hander in the history of the American League. His next one is outside to say 3-0. So Guidry, who walked one man in each of the first 3 innings, falls behind say 3-0. Dusty Baker is on deck. Guidry's next one to say. High ball 4. 4 walks. Unusual for Guidry, who walks, well, look at his totals. Less than 2.5 men per 9 innings.
Yeah.
Dusty Baker walked his first time up in the second inning, but Lee Lacy then grounded into a double play. 1 on, 1 out. Say, who doesn't run much, leads away. The pitch to Baker, taken low. 1-0. If Say goes, it'll be part of a hit-and-run play. But Guidry finding trouble right now and locating the strike zone. He's missed on 5 in a row after Garvey tried to bunt his way on and popped it up. The pitch to Baker. Fly ball to right field. That'll be playable. Lou Piniella coming in, waiting. And makes the catch for the second out. Here's Lacy. 0 for 1 tonight, 1 for 7 in the series. We want to pass along our congratulations this evening to Danny Ozark, who today was rehired as manager of the Philadelphia Phillies. Got a new 1-year contract after guiding the Phils to their 3rd straight National League East title. Fastball is in for a called strike at the letters to Lacy. Two to 1 New York in the 4th. Guidry looks at Say, comes to Lacy. Inside, ball 1, 1-1. Guidry this year became the Yankees' first 20-game winner since Catfish Hunter in 1975, and the second since Fritz Peterson in 1970. The next pitch to Lacy is fouled off Munson's mask to the backstop. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Lacy. As you pointed out, Wynn, Guidry was just not an overnight success in the American League. He paid the dues before he came up here. He's ready now. The 1-2 pitch to Lacy, way inside, ball 2, 2-2. Guidry was the Yankees' number 3 selection in the 1971 free agent draft, but then he had to pitch at Johnson City, Fort Lauderdale, Kinston, West Haven, and Syracuse before the Yankees gave him a shot. Lacy bounces it foul at the plate. It's still 2-2.
And at the beginning of last year, Ron Guidry wasn't considered a part of the Yankee rotation at all. In fact, his fastball had a string on it. He was a relief pitcher. The Yankees got into trouble with injuries, and I think it was a slider that he picked up. His mentor was Sparky Lyle. He started to throw it, and from there on in, it was just a meteor.
Now the stretch by Guidry. Say takes his lead. 2-2 pitch to Lacy. Strike 3 call. So the rising fastball gets Lacy looking. No runs, no hits, 1 left, and it'll be into 3.5. Yankees 2, Dodgers 1.
Hey, coffee lovers. Now Mellow Roast is going to see you through the series with a kind of full-flavored coffee taste that you love. Mellow Roast blends 3 kinds of rich, robust coffees with roasted grain so that the full coffee flavor comes through smooth and delicious, but without the bitterness. So make a real hit with your home team. You stock up on plenty of good Mellow Roast today and get great coffee taste without bitterness. Cup after delicious cup. Mellow Roast coffee and grain beverage. It's available in both ground and instant.
I want that sinus medicine.
Headache tablet?
No, it relieves headache and congestion, internal sinus pressure, and postnasal drip. And it has added strength.
You mean added strength sign-off?
Exactly.
Added strength sign-off tablets give you pure aspirin plus 50% more sinus drainer.
To help sinus pain while you drain.
Right. And more sinus dryer for postnasal drip.
Added strength sign-off.
The sinus medicine in the bright red box. Take when needed, only as directed.
SINEOFF. Sign-off.
World Series action from Yankee Stadium in New York, and we're coming to the last half of the 4th inning with the Yankees holding a 2-1 lead. Ron Guidry has not been the meteor he was during the year, but whenever it's necessary, he gets out of the jams. He's walked 4 men, 1 in each inning. But like in that last inning, when he's had to have it, as the baseball people say, he had it. The only run scored was on the first base end of a sacrifice hit, or a fielder's choice, rather. So they haven't exactly rocked him, and he's a tough little cookie, 159 pounds of grit and determination. On the other hand, the Yankees have gotten 5 hits off Sutton, left as many as 4 on in the first 3 innings, and this game is not going to be won, I think, by 1 run. So it behooves somebody to do something. Ross?
Chris Chambliss, Brian Doyle, and Bucky Dent will bat for the Yankees in the 4th. Don Sutton to the windup in the first pitch. Chambliss tried to check his swing, went too far around. A pitch down and in. 0-1 to Chambliss, who walked in the 2nd inning. Roy White's first World Series home run gave New York a 1-0 lead in the opening inning. They came back for another run in the 2nd. Chambliss grounds one down to 3rd. Backhanded by Say. He gets up, loses his cap, and throws late to 1st. Say was playing well off the line for the left-handed hitting Chambliss, and he had to make a good play or it would have been a double.
Yeah, that along with Nettles stab in the same direction, the same type of play. Obviously the 2 best fielding plays of the night. Only this one, Say was on the ground, prone, got to his feet, decided to throw, then decided not to throw, and then did throw, and it was much too late. I doubt that he would have got him under any circumstances.
Chambliss now has hit safely in his last 6 World Series games. Here's Doyle, who hit into a fielder's choice his first time up, but he takes high for a ball. In that 2nd inning, with the Yankees leading 1-0, Nettles singled. Chambliss walked. Doyle failed to bunt him over, bounced one up the middle, and they got only a force out at 2nd. There goes Chambliss, and there's a looping fly ball to left center field. Baker racing over to the alley, makes the catch. Chambliss, who was 2/3 of the way to 2nd, has to race back to 1st after the putout. So the Yanks played hit and run, and Doyle sent a fly ball to Baker in left center field. 1 away, and Bucky Dent will be the hitter.
Doyle literally tried to place the ball over the shortstop's head, tried to get him moving towards 2nd as Chambliss was on his way, but he got under the ball, got it up into the air, and it's 1 gone, 1 on, and Bucky Dent.
In that 2nd inning we were talking about, with runners at 1st and 3rd and 1 out, Dent bounced into a force out, and the Yankees got their 2nd run. There's a slider for a called strike from Sutton. 0-1 to Dent. So 2 fielders' choices led to the Yankees' 2nd run. Dodgers came back with a run in the 3rd. Russell singled that one home. Sutton's pitch to Dent. Check swing grounder to Garvey's right. He backhands it, stumbles, but gets back to the bag in time to make the unassisted putout as Chambliss goes into 2nd. Sutton was coming over to cover, and I think for an instant Garvey was going to underhand the ball to him. And then when he lost his footing, he decided, well, I might as well try it myself, and he still had time to get Dent. So 2 away, and the speedy Mickey Rivers coming up.
And he's singled both times he's been to the plate. And here's another opportunity with the Yankees having men in scoring position as they've had them in every inning. 2 runs out of 6 hits is not actually run production.
Rivers a good high fastball hitter and a good first ball hitter. Sutton's pitch to Mickey, high and away for a ball. Rivers does not like to walk. Last year he was up over 600 times. He walked only 12 times all year. So they went to him and said, hey, be a little more selective. This year he walked 29 times. He drives one to left center field and deep. Baker racing back. He's got a play in front of the warning track to one-handed. So Rivers took Sutton the other way, but in this ballpark, it's an airport, some people call it. And Baker had room to make the catch. No runs, 1 hit. The Yankees leave 1 more. They've stranded 5 men over 4 innings. And at the end of 4 in World Series Game 3, it remains Yankees 2, Dodgers 1.
Here's Barsman and McCormick for Quantel Business Computers.
Well, today we're talking with another captain of industry. Sir, could you tell us about your company?
Yes, I have a company where I braid people's legs and I manufacture merry-go-round horse eyes. It's a conglomerate.
Oh, sounds complex. Tell me, how do you control this conglomerate?
Very simple. I use a Quantel Business Computer.
Oh, you're a computer expert, too.
Are you kidding? I don't know a thing about computers. I used to think that software was a programmer's long john.
Yes, then why a Quantel Business this computer?
Because it speaks my language.
What language is that?
English, my friend, English.
Oh, you mean like how now, brown cow?
That's the idea. And with Quantel's plain English programming, I didn't have to hire some white-coated wizard to help me run my business. And with the money I saved, I was able to acquire another company for my conglomerate.
What company was that?
A chain of coin-operated marriage chapels.
For Quantel information, call toll-free 800-227-1894. In California, call 415-783-3410. Collect.
Going into the fifth inning at Yankee Stadium here in the Bronx in New York, and it's Yankees 2, Dodgers 1. The Yankees have 2 runs on 6 hits and no errors. The Dodgers have 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors. Don Sutton pitching, and so is Ron Guidry. The Yankees have had men in scoring position in every inning. One of their runs came as a result of Roy White's home run. The other, fielder's choice when a double play just failed. The Dodger run, Bill Russell got it home in the 3rd inning. Threats by both clubs, more wasted opportunities for the Yankees, and the game goes into the 5th inning and starts to get fingernail-biting tense.
Neither team has gone down in order. Guidry will face Bill North to lead off in the 5th, and North bounces it foul up along 3rd. North walked to start the 3rd inning for the Dodgers, and then stole his first base in World Series competition. This is Billy's 8th game in World Series history. He got to 3rd with 1 out, and with 2 out, Russell got him home with a single. There's a fastball high to North, 1-1. The Dodgers almost lost a chance in the 3rd. With North at 3rd and 1 out, Lopes hit a line smash, but right at Graig Nettles at 3rd. But then Russell got the infield hit to deep short to drive in North. A bunt by North, but right back to Guidry, and the Yankee pitcher throws him out. So twice in the last 2 innings, the Dodgers have tried to bunt, but both times they bunted him to Guidry. Garvey did his in the air, and North directly back to him.
And that is an obvious indication of the respect they hold Ron Guidry in when they're trying to foozle on instead of swinging away. Many times this year, Ron has said about the 5th inning, he begins to feel in command, and he gets it. Whether that's going to be so tonight, we don't know.
Steve Yeager grounded out to Bucky Dent his first time up. Guidry to the windup, and the first one to Yeager is taken high for a ball. Guidry won 13 in a row to open this season, a Yankee record. He won 15 of his 25 games following a Yankee defeat, so he was truly a stopper on his ball club. Yeager swings through a fastball and is whistled by him. 1-1.
That was about eye-high. But when the ball comes in so fast, you don't get much chance to make up your mind.
Davey Lopes out on deck. Ron Guidry to the windup, and a 1-1 pitch to Yeager. Fastball is just outside. 2-1. Guidry has struck out 2, but he's walked 4. He's given up only 2 hits, both singles by Bill Russell. Sutton has yielded 6 hits to the Yankees, but he's still close, trailing 2-1 in the 5th. The 2-1 pitch to Steve Yeager, very high and outside, 3-1. Guidry's 3-1 offering to Yeager. Foul back, 3-2. In case you're wondering, only 5 teams in the first 74 World Series have come back to win the title after losing the first 2 games. The 1971 Pirates, the most recent team to do it, when they came back to beat Baltimore. Yeager pops another foul out of play behind the plate. Still 3-2. No club, though, has ever come from a 3-0 deficit in games to win the World Series. So a mighty important contest tonight for the Yankees. Guidry's 3-2 pitch, breaking ball low, and he's walked another one. 5 walks in 5 innings.
Keeps the pressure on the Yankee defense, no question about that. And I presume causes some thoughts in Ron's mind. He's been missing high. That time he missed low. And you can't keep that up all night.
Lopes has hit the ball sharply twice. A drive to Rivers in center field to open the game, which was hauled down. And a smoking liner right at Graig Nettles in the 3rd inning. Guidry's pitch to Lopes. That's high, another ball, 1-0. One thing, though, you can say about Guidry win is the fact that he does not give up many home run balls, only 13 all season. And in this ballpark, of course, it's a pitcher's haven.
I think I detect he's somewhat perturbed, however. He doesn't show it very often, hasn't this year as we've seen him, but right now he seems a little perturbed.
Yeager with little speed leads away from first. Guidry's pitch to Lopes. Fastball outside, 2-0. Munson walks out in front of the plate. Lobs the ball back to his ace left-hander. 2-1 New York in the 5th inning. Yeager with a 1-out walk leading away from first. Here's Guidry's 2-0 pitch to Lopes. A drive down the left field line, but foul. Back in. That was foul by a good 25 feet or so.
But it had all the distance it needed to be a 2-run home run. No question about that. He got around too much on it.
One of the most memorable home runs in the World Series came on this day 18 years ago. Remember the one by Bill Mazeroski? Lopes has smashed to left field for a base hit. Yeager turns second and holds as Roy White gets the ball back in. The Dodgers have their 3rd hit off Guidry, and a man who had the other 2 is coming up now. Bill Russell with 1 out in the 5th.
And this is the same Bill Russell who singled to center to get the Dodgers in the World Series to beat the Phils in the 10th inning, as you might recall.
You realize that was the first hit he'd had off Tug McGraw in 2 years?
You gotta believe. Tug said about that pitch that it was a decent pitch, not an excellent pitch, and that Russell is better than a decent hitter.
Yankees look for the double play. Yeager and Lopes aboard with 1 out. Guidry out of a stretch, and the first one to Russell. Popped up on the right side. Doyle calling for it. The infield fly rule in effect, and 2 out. So Russell didn't waste any time, despite the fact that Guidry's been having control problems here. And he pops it up, and that leaves it up to Reggie Smith if the Dodgers are to get even in the 5th.
And this is the same Reggie Smith who had nothing to do with the altercation about who was the MVP on the Dodger club. That was between Sutton and Garvey. But as I recall the Dodger year, Smith was the man, certainly at the beginning of the year. He's been a little off and ill recently.
Bronchitis and laryngitis have slowed him down. Guidry's first was a fastball, grounded to third. Nettles backhands it, bobbles it. It's behind him, and Yeager stops at third to load the bases. So Nettles with another fine play going to his right. But this time the ball popped out of the glove, and Nettles didn't have a play. It'll be an infield hit for Reggie Smith, and they're loaded up for Steve Garvey.
Garvey in the on-deck circle. I saw him look down. And if you can tell from this distance, he kind of looked at the ground, and you could feel the resolve getting himself up for it as he comes to the plate with the bases loaded. Facing Ron Guidry, his team trailing 2-1, and the crowd trying to get into the act to give Ron some resolve. Okay.
Garvey 0 for 6 against Guidry the last 2 years, sends a pop foul outside of first. Chambliss going over. He may not have room, and the ball is back in 4-5 rows. So Garvey peeled that one just out of play. And for a moment, all the fans at Yankee Stadium thought Chambliss was going to gather it in for the 3rd out. Not so. Garvey tonight has bounced into a force out and tried to bunt his way on and popped it up to Guidry in the last inning. A walk and 2 singles have loaded him up for the Dodgers in the 5th, but the Yankees clinging to a 2-1 lead. The next one to Garvey. Ground ball at third. Nettles backhands it. Turns, goes to second. In time for the force out. No runs. 2 hits. 3 left. The Dodgers have left 6 men on against Ron Guidry. And at the end of 4.5, Yankees 2, Dodgers 1.
WCBS, New York.
Someday you'll own. Someday you'll own. Sooner or later, you'll own General's.
For 60 years, General Tire has been one of the nation's leading tire manufacturers. But General Tire means more than tires. Our one-stop car care centers are staffed by experts who know how to take care of your car, whether it's wheel alignment, wheel balance, lube and oil change, muffler, shock absorbers, brake, or batteries. You get fast, dependable service using name brand parts and materials. Your car gets a free 7-point safety check, too. And best of all, it's priced right. For tires and service, check your yellow pages for the General Tire headquarters nearest you.
Sooner or later, you'll own General's. Sooner or later, you'll own General's.
absolutely have to win ball game for the Yankees, and they lead it in the skinniest of ways, 2-1 as they go to the latter half of the 5th inning. Up until the Dodgers filled the bases in that last inning, it was all the Yankees. The Yankees, however, unable to bring them home. They had left 5 men on base in the first 4 innings. Now the Dodgers come away with a base on balls, 2 hits, and then a brilliant play by Nettles to stop the rally, or the Dodgers would have gotten 2 and been out in front. Sutton has been tough enough to stop the Yankees when he's had to, and that's the story so far. 4.5 through, the Yankees to bat, the man who hit the home run in the first inning, Roy White.
White bounced out to Lopes his last time up. He'll be followed by Thurman Munson and Reggie Jackson. Don Sutton, still trailing 2-1, goes to the windup, and his first pitch is a breaking ball for a called strike to the switch-hitting White. White considered a better hitter from the left side. That's where he is against Sutton tonight. The 0-1 pitch on the outside, just missing the corner. Ball 1, 1-1. Through 5 innings, Ron Guidry has had 71 pitches. Through 4 innings, Don Sutton has served up 69. The 1-1 pitch to White. Low for ball 2, 2-1. Let's pause 5 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS Radio Network.
WCBS, New York.
Here's Sutton's 2-1 pitch to White. Low ball 3, and Roy laid off of it. 3-1. Sutton has walked 2, he struck out 2. Guidry has struck out 2 and walked 5. Roy White waiting. The 3-1 pitch. Low ball 4. Walks in this ball game, and we're at the halfway point. Thurman Munson has struck out both times tonight, called out on strikes in the first inning, went down trying to check his swing in the third.
Ross, this is the 4th time in 5 innings that the Yankees have opened by getting a man on.
Sutton has flirted with danger, but he is still close at 2-1. All of the Yankees have out hit the Dodgers 6-4. Rotson gets up again in the Dodger bullpen in left field. Munson waiting. The stretch by Sutton. White goes, and there's a drive to right center field. Smith racing over. He'll have a play. Makes the catch. And back to first goes White. Munson, one of the best hit-and-run men in the game. Hit the ball solidly, but right to Reggie Smith in right center. One away with Reggie Jackson coming on. Has walked and bounced out to Lopes. We told you this was the day that Bill Mazeroski hit his home run in 1960 in the 9th inning of the 7th game of the series to give the Pirates that famous 10-9 victory over the Yankees. Well, there was another big date on October 13th. That was in 1971. Here's the pitch to Reggie, high for a ball. In 1971, the first World Series night game was played in Pittsburgh. The Pirates nipped the Orioles 4-3, and the late great Roberto Clemente had 3 hits under the lights that night. Jackson waiting, 1 on, 1 out. 5th inning, 2-1 Yankees. Sutton at the belt. The 1-0 pitch. Off speed and in for a called strike. 1-1. Sutton really pulled a string on that one. Lou Piniella out on deck.
Reggie, far and away, is the most potent of the Yankee hitters in this series. He has 6 RBIs.
Sutton ready. But Jackson isn't, and Reggie steps out on him. Reggie was engaged in some psychological warfare with young Bobby Welch in Los Angeles Wednesday night in that 9-pitch confrontation. He stepped out several times. 1-1 pitch from Sutton, a ground ball foul, whacked outside of first, and Reggie cracked his bat on that one. And he'll have to go back and get another one. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Reggie Jackson.
The idea is to pitch Reggie inside. He's an excellent wrong field hitter. You give it up and away, and he's going to lay it right down that left field line. You get it over the plate. And that's why he is a home run hitter, the best of the active players in World Series play today.
Here in the 5th, Roy White walked and Thurman Munson lined out to Reggie Smith. Now Reggie Jackson with a new piece of lumber back in from the left side waiting for Don Sutton. The count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sutton ready. Here's the pitch. Low, ball 2, 2-2. When the Dodgers come up in the 6th, they'll have Ron Say, Dusty Baker, and Lee Lacy to test Ron Guidry. Sutton taking plenty of time before coming to Jackson. Now he fires over to first, and White back on the bag easily ahead of the throw. The Weather Service said we could expect rain in New York tonight anytime after 10 o'clock. It is now 10:04. The pitch to Jackson. Ground ball to the right side. Garvey goes down to Russell for 1. No return throws. Sutton late coming over to cover. Garvey was way out of position, so it was up to Sutton to get there. And the Dodgers get the front man, but they did not turn 2. So 3-6 on the putout, and I think Sutton a little disgusted with himself.
And here is Lou Piniella, who in the first inning hit a ball to right center field that Smith, or rather the center fielder North, just gathered in. Then he singled to left center, stole a base, and it was in scoring position again, but was not brought home. And that's the story of the Yankee attack so far as the inning opened here again with Roy White, base on balls getting in, but the Yankee big guns have not been able to bring him around.
Piniella 1 for 2 tonight. Waits for Sutton's first pitch and drives one to left field indeed, but Baker's got to play in this ballpark. Waiting for it, a towering fly ball, and he makes the catch. No runs, no hits. The Yankees leave another. Both teams now have stranded 6 runners over 5 innings. And it remains Yankees 2, Dodgers 1.
Don Knotts for Mailgram.
When I'm away from the office, I don't always have a secretary with me at those important meetings. So when I want to seal a deal in writing, I call Western Union and send a mailgram message. Don Knotts Karate Schools can't miss! The old impact of a telegram. At a fraction of the cost, wraps it up the next business day. Well, I look macho in my black belt.
When your secretary's not around, call Western Union and dictate a mailgram message anytime. And now here's news about another Western Union service. When you hear that sound at 2 a.m., you know you have a problem.
Hey, Dad, can you send me $300 quick? The car broke down and I'm stranded in some...
Now there's a way to handle emergencies like this with one phone call.
Hello, Western Union. I want to send a money order to my son. My master charge number is...
You can send money day or night, 7 days a week, and charge it to your master charge account. Just call Western Union toll-free.
You know, one of the best ways to get the I think I was there feeling was to get yourself a copy of the 1978 World Series souvenir program, the one that's sold here at the series. It's going to be a collector's item. It commemorates the 75th anniversary of the World Series. Now, you send your check or money order for $2.50 to World Series program, P.O. Box 666, San Francisco, California, 94101. It's filled with World Series glamour, history, all the figures, of course. Speaking of the figures that are important to you, you send your check or money order for $2.50 to World Series program, Post Office Box 666, San Francisco, California, 94101. And don't forget your name and address. The preceding was brought to you on behalf of Major League Baseball. The figure that is the most interesting right now before this full house at Yankee Stadium is the score on the board, 2-1 Yankees over the Dodgers going into the 6th inning, and the slight figure for an athlete that is Ron Guidry facing Ron Say. Ross?
Say has struck out and walked tonight. He'll be followed by Dusty Baker and Lee Lacy in the Los Angeles 6th inning. Left-hander Ron Guidry's first pitch almost to the backstop. Munson had to come out of the crouch and backhanded. So Guidry has been encountering control problems all the way. He has walked one man in each of the first 5 innings, but he's leading 2-1 on Roy White's first World Series home run. And Bucky Dent's RBI on a fielder's choice. Say drives one to left center field, but again, Mickey Rivers has room and makes the catch. That went almost 400 feet from home plate, but at Yankee Stadium, just a long out.
Yeah, it would have been a tie ball game in Dodgers Stadium. Not really, because Pinellas would have gone into the stands the inning before. So, along with the fine pitching of Guidry and Sutton, there is more than a usual number of shoulda, coulda, wouldas tonight in the 3rd game of the World Series at Yankee Stadium.
Dusty Baker has walked and flied to right field. Ron Guidry goes to his windup, and the first one to Baker is inside. Guidry did not play high school baseball. There was no team at his school in Lafayette, Louisiana. But he played in college. Baker drives one to left center field. That's going to fall in. Rivers races over and cuts it off in the gap. And Baker has to hold with a long single. A good play by Rivers.
Boy, that was a double almost everywhere, any time. But the quick recovery, Rivers is not supposed to have a good arm, but he has a snapdragon recovery. Quickly got it into second, and Baker almost dug a hole getting back. He was 1/3 of the way towards second, but he did get back, and so it's 1 on and 1 out.
Baker now 4 for 9 in the series, and here's Lee Lacy, who's bounced into a double play and been called out on strikes. Yankees 2, Dodgers 1. Tying run aboard for the Dodgers. Lacy takes one in the dirt for the ball. Ed Figueroa and Tommy John tomorrow afternoon in Game 4 will be on the air on the CBS Radio Network at 3:15.
And both those last 2 balls well hit by the Dodgers. Nobody up in the Yankee bullpen.
And still, neither team has gone down in order in this ball game. Guidry's 1-0 pitch to Lacy. Line drive, base hit center field. Baker goes to second. He'll hold as Rivers comes up throwing. So back-to-back base hits. And that's the first time the Dodgers have accomplished that in tonight's game. 1 out and Bill North coming up with Steve Yeager to follow. Guidry has the number 8 and 9 hitters looking at him in the Dodger order.
And now some stirring in the Yankee bullpen, and although I can't see nobody's really come out, I suspect it'll be Rich Gossage.
Each team now with 6 hits. Here's North, who has walked, and then last time up tried to bunt his way on and bunted right back to Guidry, who threw him out. North takes one in for a called strike on the outside corner. Here's one where the designated hitter rule can aid a ball club. Ordinarily, the pitcher would be coming up. And it would be decision time for Tommy Lasorda. Would he lift Don Sutton with his club down 2-1? He doesn't have to make that choice tonight. Fastball outside the North, 1-1.
It sure has helped the Yankees. Reggie Jackson is their DH.
Guidry out of the stretch with 2 on and 1 out. Delivers 1-1 to North. Way outside, ball 2. 2-1. Rich Gossage is up, and so is Dick Tidrow. So a couple of right-handers working in the Yankee bullpen in left center field. Baker, the runner at second. Lacy at first. Stretched by Ron Guidry. 2-1 pitch to North. Fouled out of play. 2-2. There was that rising fastball, and North went after it and fouled it off to the right.
And now the crowd applauding and beseeching for that strikeout ball, which so far tonight Guidry has not had.
The stretch, and the 2-2 pitch to Bill North. Foul back. Ron Guidry is an avid chess player, and right now he's trying to make the right move in the 6th inning. The Dodgers with the tying run, Baker at second, the go-ahead run, Lacy at first, and North up there, the count even. Now the stretch, and the pitch to North. High, ball 3, 3-2. Is this the wildest you've seen him this year, Win?
No question. No question. That ball was not only not in the strike zone, it was almost over North's head. Whatever Guidry's doing, he is the wildest he has been all year.
Will the Dodgers send the runners with 1 out on a 3-2 pitch? We'll see in a moment. Guidry stretches, they go. The pitch, a fly ball to left field, but playable. Roy White fading back for it, under it now, and makes the catch. And that one was hit almost 400 feet. Baker tagging and going to third. The throw was to second, so Baker's in head first at third base. White threw to the wrong base.
Baker waited until White threw to second. It was so deeply hit, and then it was an easy journey to third base.
Yeager will not hit. Manny Mota will come out and hit for the Dodger catcher. So the veteran Manny Mota, who is number 2 on the all-time baseball pinch hit list, will be used with 2 on and 2 out of the 6th inning as Lasorda tries to get the Dodgers even.
They're going to be talking about that play for a long time, with Baker actually standing on second and no reason to throw there. The old pro, Roy White, just lofted it. He was almost out 400 feet there. The minute he threw towards second, Baker took off, and there wasn't even a play on him. Now, as far as Mota is concerned, this is the guy whose history shows that he is probably the most adept batsman in modern times. He can get his bat on that ball for one reason or another. He can wait, he can chop, he can bounce it, he can bloop it, he can drive it. And here he is, like you say, Ross, the best on the Dodger bench and possibly in all baseball. That's the only reason he's here, for situations like this. And Guidry, who has not been his best, 2 long fly balls, they pulled him on him, and 2 sharp line drive singles. His team leading 2-1, men on first and third, 2 out, 6th inning, and is Ron being left in a batter or 2 too long?
Manny Mota had 10 hits during the year. He batted .303 as a pinch hitter for the Dodgers. Did not make a start. And the first pitch from Guidry is high and away. Mota then with 132 pinch hits, the most of any National League hitter ever. Smokey Burgess is number 1, 144. He got 41 of those in the American League. Mota takes high and outside, ball 2, 2-1. So Lemon came out to have a chat with Guidry and stuck with him. And now the count 2-0 to Manny Mota, with runners at first and third, 2 out of the 6th, and the Yankees leading 2-1. It's stretched by Ron Guidry. 2-0 pitch to Mota, very high and outside, ball 3. So remember last inning, Guidry loaded him up with 2 out, but Nettles saved him with a fine play to his right on a smash by Garvey, which was turned into a force out at second. And now here in the 6th inning, Guidry 1 pitch away from loading him up again with 2 out. Will Mota swing 3-0? The pitch is inside, ball 4, and they're loaded up one more time. So Mota hitting for Yeager. Walks, and Guidry's string continues. A dubious string. 6 innings, 6 walks, 1 per inning.
And Davy Lopes comes to the bat. A long fly in the first inning. A shot down the third baseline that Nettles got in the way of. A sharp single to left field. And Guidry still stays in there and faces Lopes.
Lopes 1 for 3. He's hit the ball sharply 3 times. He swings and misses at a breaking ball. This is the most men Guidry has walked in a game this year. Back in May against the Texas Rangers, he walked 5 in 6 1/3 innings, but he won 5-2. Lopes has flied to deep center, line to third, and single. Here's Guidry's 0-1 pitch. Smash to third, backhanded by Nettles. Gets up, goes to second, got it again.
Impossible. Graig Nettles. A line smash that bounced right in front of him, took it backhand, turned around, and got the force play again. I don't know.
Almost an identical play on the ball he made on Garvey, except I think this one was tougher, and again it had a bad hop at the end of it. No runs, 2 hits. The Dodgers, for the 2nd inning in a row, leave 3. They now have stranded 9 men against Ron Guidry, but at the end of 5 1/2, it's still Yankees 2, Dodgers 1.
Credit decision is quick. In fact, your Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealer can handle everything right in the showroom. So remember, when you're buying or leasing a new car or truck, Ford Credit wants to give you credit for being you. Tell your Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealer you'd like to finance with us. Ford Motor Credit.
Number 9. Hardly ever says anything. one of the quiet men, but obviously one of the big doers. He's got the fine tar off his bat handle. He comes up, and they're going to give it to him again. Single-handedly. Well, no, nobody ever does anything single-handedly, but when the ball goes down third base, it's single-handedly. 3 magnificent plays. Reminds me of one of those World Series games that Brooks Robinson was in. I don't remember what the year was. I think it was when the Orioles beat the Dodgers. This guy is just fantastic. He's been a combination tightrope walker, acrobat, whatever you want to call him. Ross?
It has been the Graig Nettles show, no doubt about it. He has saved at least 4 runs in the last 2 innings alone. After striking out his last 3 times at the plate in Dodger Stadium 2 nights ago, and he left 4 men on base in that 4-3 New York loss. The first pitch from Don Sutton in for a called strike. So for the first time in the series, it's the Dodgers who are getting frustrated. They left 3 on in the 5th. They left 3 more in the 6th. Nettles tonight has singled and flied to center. Sutton has settled down. His pitch to Nettles is way inside with a breaking ball, 1-1. Sutton in the last 2 innings served up only 20 pitches. Yankees got a run in the first on Roy White's homer, another run in the second. Dodgers got their run in the third. Now we're in the bottom of the 6th. The pitch to Nettles is bounced foul behind the plate, 1-2. So on one of his rare off nights this year, Ron Guidry still finds himself leading 2-1 in the 6th inning, thanks to the brilliant play of his third baseman, a man from Southern California, San Diego's Graig Nettles. Sutton asking Yeager. Now, Jerry Grody's behind the plate. Grody took over after Manny Mota hit for Yeager, and Sutton wants his new battery mate to go over the series of signs. Meanwhile, a beach ball type baseball comes out on the field and is retrieved by a ball boy. Timeout by John Kibler. Will they get that out of play? Looks like Dodger Stadium. Nettles waiting. Don Sutton to the windup, and the 1-2 pitch. High fly ball to right field, fairly deep, but Reggie Smith indicates he's got it. Comes in front of the warning track and makes the catch. 1 away.
Boy, this has turned into a beautiful series. A confrontation between young Bob Welch and Reggie Jackson the other night. The all-around histrionics of Nettles on third base. The 1-run fingernail biter we got going. And Chris Chambliss up there, Ross.
Chambliss tonight has walked and singled, and he takes one on the outside corner from Sutton for a called strike.
The first game had no tension. The second game and the third game, anything and everything you could ask for.
Outstanding baseball. Chambliss waits in the 1-strike pitch. A drive to center field and deep. North turns, goes back. He's there, waiting for it, and he's 400 feet away when he makes the catch. 2 away in the 6th inning. You just have to pull the ball here to have any kind of a shot at a home run unless you really clout one.
It's called the desert out there, but the smart pitchers will let you hit it out there. They force you to, so that you can't say Guidry or Sutton are losing their stuff. They let you hit it out there.
Brian Doyle has hit into a fielder's choice and fly to left field. Sutton now has gone through the Yankee lineup without allowing a hit since Chambliss opened the 4th with a single. And his first pitch is a called strike to the left-handed hitting Doyle. When the Dodgers come up in the 7th, they'll have Bill Russell, Reggie Smith, and Steve Garvey to go against Ron Guidry. The next pitch is a curveball for a called strike, and Doyle's in a hole 0-2. Give it to Guidry. When he's had to get the men out, he's gotten them with the aid of Graig Nettles at third.
I was going to say Graig's gotten them.
Doyle waiting. Sutton to the windup, and the 2-strike pitch on its way. Bounced slowly but foul up along third. In the last 55 years, the Yankees have been swept in the World Series only twice. By the Dodgers in 1963 and by the Reds in 1976. And they don't want to be doing that in 78. 0-2 pitch to Doyle, way outside with a fastball, 1-2.
You know, thinking back to Nettles, not only does he make those diving stops, but at least twice in this series he's been in the way of line drives. He plays his position smartly.
Very adroitly. The 1-2 pitch from Sutton, outside with a fastball. Tried to nibble the corner and missed, 2-2. Sutton has struck out 2. He's walked 3. Like Guidry, he has allowed 6 hits. Sutton brushes off Grote's first sign. OK's the second. To the windup and the 2-2 pitch. Popped up to left field. Baker was playing him shallow and toward the line. He's there and makes the catch. So for the first time tonight, for either side, it's a 1-2-3 inning. At the end of 6 in Game 3 of the World Series, Yankees 2, Dodgers 1.
This is us. This is JCPenney.
This is the time to save 10% on every toy in stock at JCPenney. Now through October 14th, save on girl toys and boy toys, fantasy toys and fun toys, traditional toys and today toys. The toys are here, so are the savings. At 10% off every toy in stock, this is the time to make Christmas the time of their lives.
This is JCPenney.
There's a kind of man who's mighty proud of his car, and you'll hear him say out loud, I take good care of what works hard for me. So for my car, it's STP. Yeah, in my car, it's STP. There's a kind of man who likes to do things himself, like working on his own car and pouring in STP oil treatment every time he changes oil. And there's a whole lot of guys who do just that. Last year, over 40 million cans of STP oil treatment went into engines like yours. And that makes it the #1 choice of the men who do it themselves. I take good care of what works hard for me. So for my car, it's STP. It's me and STP.
At the risk of making this sound an over-nettled game, just let me track it for you. In the second inning, after Dusty Baker got a walk, Lee Lacy hit a scorcher down to third. The Nettles turned into a double play. In the third inning, after Russell had singled in Bill North and was standing on second, Reggie Smith hit a bullet down the third base line, which you know what happens. Nobody hit it to him in the fourth inning. To make things brief, in the fifth inning with the bases loaded, Garvey hit a smash down that Nettles managed to get a glove on and get over to second for force play. And the same thing happened on Davy Lope's smash last inning with the bases loaded. I don't know what you could ask more of Graig Nettles, except that perhaps we come down to the last of the ninth. His club is tied with the Dodgers, and as our Japanese friends in the next booth say, they're broadcasting the game too. The game-winning homer in the ninth inning is called a sayonara homer. That would be the only, we ought to make a movie. Well, Ross, you're the director right now.
Okay, Len, Bill Russell will lead off with the Dodgers. Then it'll be Reggie Smith and Steve Garvey here in the seventh inning for Los Angeles. And Guidry's first pitch is a breaking ball, bounced to Bucky Dent. The shortstop's got it on 3 hops. Fires to Chambliss in time. So Russell is 2 for 4 tonight. In the last 2 innings, Guidry has allowed 4 singles and 2 walks. And yet, the Dodgers got nothing out of it, and they're still down 2-1.
And Ross, I know that Manager Lemon came on in the middle of the season and has led this club to a brilliant championship.
Reggie Smith takes high for a ball.
I was going to say, I don't know if he's leaving Ron Guidry in a couple of batters too long.
Smith has walked, been robbed by Nettles, and singled his last time up, and he sends a high pop-up in foul territory. That'll be out of play. Behind the Dodger dugout, 1-1. Reggie Smith led the Dodgers in home runs this year with 29, but he did not hit one after the 9th of September.
Maybe Bob Lemon's philosophy is you're going to dance with the guy what brung you, and Ron is the guy what brung him.
Guidry's pitch to Smith is a drive to left field, but it's playable. Roy White coming up. Waits and makes a catch, 2 away. So Guidry now 1 batter away from his first perfect inning of the night, but Steve Garvey standing in his way. Garvey 0 for 3 tonight. 2 fielder's choices. The last one, the sparkling play Nettles made on him in the 5th inning with the bases loaded for the final out. And in between, Garvey tried to bunt and popped it up to Guidry. The 28-year-old left-hander out of Louisiana cranks up a fastball. It's high to Garvey, ball 1. Garvey has hit in 12 of his last 13 World Series games. Trying to get aboard in the 7th inning. That one's on the outside corner for a strike. The Dodgers have homered in their last 7 World Series games. That's only 2 shy of a record the Yankees had in 1936 and 37. Garvey bounces it foul to the Dodger dugout, and it's 1-2. Guidry with 2 strikeouts, and the crowd chanting now to make it 3. Guidry to the windup, and a 1-2 pitch to Garvey. Just got a piece of it and fouled it back. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Yankees. 1 run, 6 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. 2 out, bases empty in the 7th. Guidry's pitch to Garvey. A drive to center. Rivers racing back, still going, still going. It is over his head into the wall. Garvey's on his way to second, and he will hold up. The relay gets away. Garvey goes to third. Now the throw to third base. He is safe. Bucky Dent went out to take the relay throw, and then suddenly and unexplainedly, he shied away from it. And the ball came in instead to Doyle. And Bryan tried to whip a throw over to Nettles, but by that time, Garvey went in sliding ahead of the throw and the tag by Nettles. So we'll see how they score it. Garvey ripped one, and even Rivers with his speed couldn't flag it down in deep left center field. And the Dodgers now have the tying run 90 feet away with Ron Cey, the hitter. Had 7 hits off Guidry. It'll be a hit and an error on Bucky Dent, although he didn't touch the ball.
No, he stepped aside, seemingly thinking the best I can make of it, that the play was going to be at second base. But it gave Garvey the extra base, and now here is Cey up to possibly bring it in.
Cey is struck out, walked and flied to center. Guidry out of a windup, and the pitch is outside. 1-0. So Guidry does not have a 1-2-3 7th inning, just as he did not get the Dodgers in order in any of the first 6. But it's Yankees 2, Dodgers 1. That's all that counts. Guidry's pitch to Cey. High, ball 2, 2-0. Rich Gossage is throwing in the New York bullpen. It was on a 2-0 pitch Wednesday night in Los Angeles that Cey hit his game-winning home run off Catfish Hunter. Guidry's pitch to him, swung on and missed, 2-1. And again in that game, the Yankees were leading at the time 2-1, as they are tonight. Garvey down the line from third. Cey steps out on Guidry. Cey with a very good eye. He led the Dodgers in base on balls again this year. Here's Guidry's 2-1 pitch. Check swing in there for a called strike. 2-2. Good slider.
I think both those last pitches were sliders, in and down. You have to make up your mind very quickly. And now the crowd comes to the possibility of Guidry getting a very important strikeout or...
Cey back in waiting. Guidry to the windup. And the 2-2 pitch. Low, ball 3. Try to slider again. Didn't get it at the knees. So a full count with Dusty Baker on deck. Garvey comes walking down the line from third. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Ron Cey. Popped up. Nettles will have a play in foul territory through the coaching line. He's got it. No runs, 1 hit. The Dodgers leave their 10th man on base. And at the end of 6.5, Yankees 2, Dodgers 1.
Here's Barsman and McCormick for Quantel Business Computers.
Well, today we're talking with another businessman. Sir, will you tell us about your company?
Yes, I'm in farm animal clothing.
Oh, you sell farm animal clothing.
That's right. Little hats for chickens, bull boots, pig masks.
Well, that's extraordinary. Tell me, how do you keep track of these items?
That's a very good question. I used to have a great deal of trouble keeping track of pig mask sales figures in my moose antler inventory.
Well, you might say you were on the horns of a dilemma.
Hey, well said. Anyway, then I installed a Quantel Quantel business computer and brought everything under control.
A Quantel business computer sounds expensive.
Absolutely not. I lease my Quantel computer for a paltry $345 a month.
Excuse me, but don't you mean a paltry $345 a month?
No, I mean poultry. Because as far as I'm concerned, $345 a month for a Quantel computer is chicken feed.
For Quantel information, call toll-free 800-227-1894. In California, call 415-783-3410. Collect.
Going to the last of the seventh here at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees leading 2-1. The Yankees had all the chances in the first 3 or 4 innings. The last 3 or 4, the Dodgers had all the chances. I noticed the Yankee rooter's face is that high pop-up wet to third base, and I could read his thoughts are almost, don't let Graig drop this one after he's been so magnificent. Well, CBS is so happy to be bringing you this tremendously exciting game, no matter where you're listening. I know you can take your portable wherever you are. It's baseball, NFL football, Super Bowl, Masters golf, Triple Crown. You keep tuned right here, CBS, your #1 radio network for news, programs, and sports. Last of the seventh, shortstop Bucky Dent. Don Sutton, who's been the master of the last 3 or 4 innings. Okay, Ross.
All right, Lynn. Sutton's retired 9 of the last 10 Yankees to face him. Dent's RBI is the difference in the ball game as he leads off and lines one to hit the left field. The Yankees catch the Dodgers in the hit column with 7. Dent is 1 for 3. Here's Mickey Rivers, who has singled twice and flied to left field. Jerry Gordy goes out to talk with Sutton. In the first 2 innings of this game, Sutton had to use 47 pitches. To show you how he's turned it around in the last 4 innings, he needed only 46 pitches.
Ross, in the 7 innings played, the the Yankees have started off getting on base, but only in one of them were they able to get a run in.
Lance Rotson throwing again in the Dodger bullpen. He's joined by right-hander Charlie Huff. Here's Rivers. Say thinks he's going to bunt. So does Garvey. He does bunt. Gordy out to get it. His only play is back to Lopes. Too late. The ball was bunted halfway to the mound. Grody ran off Sutton, and I think for an instant thought he was going to go to second base. And he who hesitates is lost.
And I thought he took too much time. He forgot that it was Rivers, hamstring or no, going down first base. And Mickey beat it, and Mickey's leaving now. He has that hamstring, but he really went all out on that one. So he is out of the game.
Paul Blair will run for him here in the 7th inning. So Rivers coming back after missing game 2 with that painful hamstring injury. Goes 3 for 4. And the Yankees give him quite a greeting as he comes back to the dugout. Here's Roy White. White has homered, bounced out, and walked. So 2 on, nobody out. And the Dodgers are almost certain White's going to be asked to bunt. Here's Sutton's pitch. White does bunt. Gordy down to get it. He'll go to
foul ball.
He was going to go to third base, but he never delivered the ball because umpire John Kilmer quickly called it foul.
He would have had him. He would have had him. He just grabbed his hat off the ground. He was mad because he would have had that third base dead to rights. Dent would have never gotten there in time. So the Yankees get a break.
Thurman Munson and Reggie Jackson will follow here in the 7th inning. The Yankees trying to break it open, lead 2-1. Sutton out of a stretch. The 1-strike pitch to White, around a bunt and takes high. Garvey is halfway to the plate from first. Say staying back deeper at third, hopeful the Dodgers can force Bucky Dent. Baker and North very shallow in left and center. Smith medium deep in right. Sutton out of a stretch, 1-1 pitch. White bunts foul behind the plate. 1-2. So White just shaking his head as he backs away. Will Bob Lemon ask him to bunt with 2 strikes on him? Here in the 7th, Dent lined a single to left. Rivers bunted and beat it out. And now the count 1-2 to White. And another balloon or a beach ball on the field in right center field, delaying the action for a moment as Reggie Smith retrieves it. 2 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Yankees. 1 run, 7 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. Bottom of the 7th inning. 2 on, nobody out. Sutton goes to the stretch. The 1-2 pitch coming to Roy White. Outside with a breaking ball, 2-2. Timeout for a moment. First base umpire Marty Springstead saying that Garvey asked for time. Garvey saying something to Sutton. I think something was thrown on the field, and Sutton comes down to the third base side of the pitching mound to pick it up and throw it back out of play off the foul side. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Roy White. Yankees trying to get more in the 7th and pad their 1-run lead. Sutton at the belt. Checks the runners. The 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to short. Russell goes to Lopes for 1. Back to Garvey on a bounce too late. And Lopes upended by Paul Blair at second base. A hard slide by the veteran Paul Blair knocked Davey down after he got rid of the throw. First and third with 1 out, and Thurman Munson coming up. Yankees running very aggressively tonight, Win.
I thought he had the play beaten regardless, Ross, but you're right. They're going into second base to make it count. And so, Thurman Munson, who has twice struck out, then hit long to right field, is the man in the spot. Thurman has not delivered for the Yankees in this series. He is 1 for 11. And it was Thurman's home run, a real blast out there where it says 430 feet in left center, that won the Yankees the opportunity. Well, it was a big help. They won the 3rd game against Kansas City. The 3rd game played, which gave them a 2-1 edge. And you can imagine that Thurman, who is one of the intense competitors, is feeling it now.
Here's one of the top clutch hitters in the game, too.
Yep, no question about it.
First and third, 1 out in the 7th inning. The Dodgers look for the double play. The Yankees look for at least a sacrifice fly to increase their lead. Sutton out of the stretch. The first one to Munson. Swung on and missed. 0-1. Thurman looks tonight to me as if he might be favoring a muscle or something. He's been a little tentative on his swings up to now.
He has. He's got a bad shoulder, but he's played through it. He has not looked, however, like he's looking tonight.
1 strike pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 2, 0-2, and Sutton is giving him just curveballs. Reggie Jackson would be next. Sutton looking for a big strikeout right now. He has only 2 tonight. And Munson both times the victim. In the first and in the third, he lined to right field his last time up. Don Sutton out of a stretch. The 0-2 pitch. Ground ball to Say. Backs up. Bobbles it. The run is in. 3-1.
That was a tough chance. It was to Say's left. He backed up. Couldn't play the ball. The run scored from third. There was no throw. Before the official decision, I give him a hit. That was a tough chance for the Penguin. And so the Yanks score a run. There it is, officially on the board, a hit. And they now go up 3-1. Tom Lasorda has come out to the mound to talk to Sutton. That's been 3 hits this inning.
It looked to me as if the ball that Thurman just hit was almost identical to the ball that Bucky Dent hit in the 2nd inning. This was a little sharper, but on both plays, Say had to take a step back and then over. And those are awfully hard to turn into double plays, and at neither time could he do it.
I don't think there was any chance for him to get a double play. He would have had to turn around. He was faced wrong. He was in a position where he had to let the ball play him. There was no other way to do it, and it did so. Now let's pause for a brief update from CBS News in New York.
I'm David Jackson reporting on the CBS Radio Network. The Senate tonight passed the Humphrey-Hawkins Full Employment Bill 70-19. In its compromise version, it calls for reducing inflation as well as unemployment into the 1980s. Now it goes back to the House. A guilty verdict tonight in the Newark, New Jersey spy trial of 2 Soviet citizens convicted of buying U.S. defense secrets. They face a maximum sentence of life in prison. More progress reported at the Egyptian-Israeli peace talks in Washington. Secretary of State Vance saying a peace treaty is possible within a month or less. President Carter today signed the $117 billion defense appropriations bill, and he signed the Civil Service Reform Bill. The House has voted to reprimand 2 California Democrats, Wilson and McFaul, for their parts in the South Korean influence buying scandal. A 3rd Californian, Edward Roybal, faced censure, but the House reduced his punishment to a reprimand. And an all-white jury in Cullman, Alabama, has found a 26-year-old severely retarded black man, Tommy Lee Hines, guilty of raping a white woman. The sentence, 30 years. I'm David Jackson, CBS News. Now back to the World Series at Yankee Stadium.
We're having a pitching change here at Yankee Stadium. Tom Lasorda's come out and removed Don Sutton in favor of Lance Rotson. Sutton allowed 3 runs, 9 hits in 6 1/3 innings. Didn't pitch that badly. This has been a strange game. Neither pitched well. Sutton was not on early in the game. Guidry has not really been the Guidry we know all the way through. Other than Roy White's home run, all the runs have been as a result of infield hits. And it's 3-1. Reggie Jackson up. Lance Rotson to face him, Ross.
Lance Rotson's a 26-year-old left-hander out of Pottsville, Pennsylvania. He was 2-1 with the Dodgers this year, was in 43 games, had 4 saves and an ERA of 2.95. So Rotson to face Jackson. 1 run in, 3-1 New York. Men at first and second, 1 out on the 7th. The first one to Reggie, a line drive, base hit to left center field. Here comes White to score. On the way to third is Munson. It is 4-1 Yankees. Jackson might have cracked his bat. But he drove in his 5th run of the series, and New York leads by 3 on the first pitch thrown by Rotson.
And I had said earlier that Jackson, when necessary, will go to left field, as he did then, dropping it in the left center. And the Yankees' leading RBI man does it again. That's number 7 for him in the series. And now the Yankees lead 4-1. Still have men on first and third, and Lou Piniella coming to bat to face the left-handed Robson.
Reggie Jackson now has hit in his last 7 World Series games. And the Yankees in a position to blow it wide open here in the bottom of the 7th. They've scored twice. They have Munson at third, Jackson at first, and Piniella the hitter. Lance Rotson is a sinker slider ball type pitcher. He's been working on an off-speed curve. Started the year at Albuquerque. The Dodgers brought him up about a month and a half into the season. Piniella waits in the first pitch. Grounded slowly to third. Russell cuts in front of Say, throws to first as the run scores in time to get Piniella. But Munson scores the 3rd run of the inning to make it 5-1, and Jackson winds up at second.
It's amazing how in this ball game there have been so many slowly hit balls to the infield that have allowed runners to score. Outside of Jackson's hit to left center and Roy White's blast into the stands, everything else has come in as a result of ground ball. Now there's been the boisterous Yankee crowd, which has mainly been vocal up to now, has begun to express itself with a little tossing of the debris. Gee, I hope they stop that. But it looks like there's some glass down there behind the home plate now that is being cleaned up by the umpires, the ground crew, and even Elston Howard is in there, or it looks like it. I think Elston just cut his finger on some glass. At least he jumped up. I couldn't hear what he said from here, but I think I know what he said.
All 3 runs in the inning are charged to Don Sutton, so we can close the book on him. In 6 of the third innings, he allowed 5 runs on 9 hits. He struck out 2, he walked 3. And the key to the inning was the bunt that Rivers laid down. That set it all up.
Yeah, and I thought Grote played that, or Grote played it a little too casually. Looked to the lead runner first and then threw it like he might throw it with anybody running. But Mickey Rivers has never been anybody on the base paths.
Graig Nettles kept the Yankees ahead until they could get 3 here in the 7th with his defensive excellence tonight. And now he's at the plate with 2 out, and he takes one on the outside corner for a called strike from Lance Rotson. Nettles has singled, fly to center and fly to right. 5-1 New York in the bottom of the 7th. Rotson's next pitch, breaking ball, misses outside. 1-1. When the Dodgers come up in the 8th, they'll have Dusty Baker, Lee Lacy, and Bill North. But now, Ron Guidry has a cushion, a 4-run margin. The next one to Nettles. A drive to right center field and deep. Now way back goes North to the warning track. He's got a play on the track and makes the catch. But the Yankees score 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 left. At the end of 7 innings, Yankees 5, Dodgers 1.
Jackie Stewart, winner of more Formula One Grand Prix automobile races than any driver in history.
Formula One racing can be incredibly expensive. Even tires and fuel don't come cheaply. Of course, in racing, the price of fuel is not much of a consideration. But when you're driving down the highway in a car that doesn't deliver such terrific gas mileage, and you've got to use premium gasoline in that car, well, then the price of gasoline should be a consideration. Paying premium prices for premium gasoline is not something I'd care to do. Not when there's a premium that sells for less than most other major premiums. Getty Premium. Getty offers quality premium gasoline without the premium price. That means you can get the power your car demands and pay less for it. So remember, when you fill up next time, fill up with Getty Premium. The premium that gives you more miles for your money.
So, Mr. Guidry, the 28-year-older from Lafayette, Louisiana, the Bayou Bomber, with great defensive help from Graig Nettles, and then some timely hitting in the 7th inning, in which the Yankees scored 3 runs, now has a 4-run edge. Not that I think that's enough. It can happen quickly the way he's been pitching. He has not been getting the ball down. He's had more walks than in any other game this year. The Dodgers have hit him sharply, both to left and left center. But when necessary, let's say he forced them to hit the ball sharply in the direction of Graig Nettles, and every time Graig has been there. So, Yankees 5 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. Dodgers 1 run, 7 hits, and no errors, as we go into the top of the 8th inning in this game, which the Yankees must win, or historically they would be DED, since no team has ever lost the first 3 and ever come back. So, the ball in Ron's hand now. And Ross, what do you think?
Well, I think now a 4-run lead is a lot to overcome. The Dodgers have rallied to win 44 ball games this year in the regular season. But now they're in tough against Ron Guidry, who turns down, looks out at his new center fielder, Paul Blair, who stayed in the game after running for Mickey Rivers in the bottom of the 7th inning. Dusty Baker, Lee Lacy, and Bill North to lead off for the Dodgers. Guidry, who is of French ancestry, working with 5 days rest, and that has been a magic number for him all year. 3 times this year he's had 5 days rest and come back, and each time thrown a shutout. Tonight he's given up a run, but he's leading 5-1. His first one to Baker, low and inside.
I really think, Ross, 278 innings.
Good fastball on the outside corner, called strike, 1-1 to Baker.
And 159 pounds. I don't think ever in the history of baseball have we ever had anybody do that. I think this is the accumulation of wear and tear of this year on Ron.
The 1-1 pitch on the way to Baker is low and inside, ball 2. Guidry has walked 6. He walked 1 man in each of the first 6 innings. In the 7th, He gave up a 2-out double to Garvey. Steve went to third on an error by Dent, but Say fouled out to lead the tying run at third. Baker may have chased ball 3 as he grounds it over the Dodger dugout into the lower deck, and then it pops back out again. 2-2 to the Dodger left fielder. Tomorrow, Ed Figueroa and Tommy John in Game 4. Airtime on the CBS Radio Network, 3:15 Eastern Time, 12:15 on the West Coast. The next one just low to Baker, ball 3, 3-2. Guidry has thrown a lot of pitches, well over 100 now. The next one to Baker is pop fouled out of play off to the right side. Still a full count. Guidry with 111 pitches, and he's just starting the 8th inning. So they'll watch him closely. Gossage has been up and down in the Yankee bullpen tonight, as has Tidrow. 3-2 pitch. Baker pops another foul, same spot. Out of play along the right field line. In case you're wondering, Guidry's 3 losses this year were to Milwaukee, Baltimore, and Toronto. But he was 25-3. The 3-2 pitch on the way to Dusty Baker. Ground ball to third, foul. Nettles can't get to it. It's 50 feet foul.
It's the only one.
Lee Lacy out on deck, and then we'll see about Bill North. Guidry's 3-2 pitch to Baker. Line drive, base hit, left field. So the Dodgers again with a runner on base, and Guidry has yet to get them in order. 8 hits for the Dodgers. The Yankees have 10.
And the Yankee bullpen immediately busy. I don't think Bob Lemon is going to waste any time now that he's got the 4-run lead. This would be the time normally that he would bring in a Rich Gossage, who has been so effective as the Yankees' ace reliever. He's up there pumping hard right now. I can see it. Looks like Captain Thurman Munson is up there conversing just to kill time. However, they do break up the conference. Munson is coming back. And they're going to go with Ron for at least one more batter.
Lee Lacy has a single and 3 at-bats. Dusty Baker with 2 base hits leads away from first, and the pitch fouled out of play. So Russell has had 2 singles. Baker's had 2 singles. Garvey has had a double. Lopes, Smith, and Lacy all with singles. And those are the 8 Dodger hits. Russell has the RBI. That came in the 3rd inning. An infield single. Guidry's pitch is a ground ball to short. Might be 2. Down to second for 1. Back to first. Double play. Second double play of the night for the Yankees. Baker tried to spill Doyle at second base. Got up slowly.
Looks like he skinned his left elbow.
2 out, bases empty, and Bill North coming on. So the Dodgers had their chances. You can't say they didn't have a crack at Guidry tonight. They loaded the bases in the 5th, they loaded the bases in the 6th, and they didn't score. And at that time, it was a 2-1 ball game. And in a 3-run 7th has given the Yankees some breathing room. North fouls it out of play. 0-1.
In addition, Ross, in the 2nd and in this inning, they hit into double plays.
Joe Ferguson comes out on deck. He would hit for Jerry Grody if North got aboard. 5-1 New York in Game 3. Ron Guidry's 1-strike pitch to North is a ground ball to short. Bucky Dent's got this one over to first in time. The Dodgers sent up only 3 men. They had 1 hit. Only the 2nd time tonight the Dodgers didn't leave somebody on base. And at the end of 7 1/2, Yankees 5, Dodgers 1.
At Kinney, we couldn't improve on our boots, so we improved on our price. Now through October 23rd, up to $5 off on boots to go at the Great American Shoe Store.
I'd like a pair of the 14-inch snoot boots to take out, please.
Certainly, sir. Now, would you like that with a little zip on the side?
A zip, yeah.
A big selection of boots to go at Kinney, all current and up to $5 off. Boots for every member of the family.
Tell you what.
What?
Give me one snoot, the padded lining,
Okay.
and one horse boot. And hold the stitching on that, could you?
You've got it, partner.
We couldn't improve our boots, so we improved our price, up to $5 off. But remember, now through October 23rd only.
I'd like one tan heel with strap and one brick wedge, please.
Yes.
And maybe for my young daughter, the whip stitch
boot special.
Well, how did you know?
Well, Boots to go at Kinney. Fast and friendly service. Step up to Kinney and place your order now. And really step out in Boots to go. From Kinney, the great American shoe store.
In many ways, a strange game as we go to the last half of the 8th inning with the Yankees now seemingly in command 5-1. Ron Guidry not himself, but the Yankee attack just strong enough to get to Sutton. Of the 5 runs they scored, the first one, a home run by Roy White in the first inning, all the others, save one singled in by Reggie Jackson in the 7th inning, all the others is a result of ground balls, fielders' choices, plays not made at second base, not errors, but slow hit ground balls, so that when you talk about a robust attack, the Yankees only got 2 runs as a result of a ball hit out of the infield. The Dodger run, likewise. Bill Russell, a ball hit to deep short, the play not made at first, it was a base hit, and the Dodger run scored. Of course, after that, they filled the bases twice. And if you've been with us, you'll have to forgive us for mentioning the name of Graig Nettles again. But at least 5 times he turned incipient Dodger rallies into nothing. Twice with the bases loaded, he made magnificent stops and plays at second base to stop the Dodger attack. So in reality, it's been a pecking kind of Yankee attack, an uncertain Ron Guidry, a Don Sutton who allowed 2 quick runs and had to pay for it as his club was never able to hit the ball by Graig Nettles. So in the final analysis, I guess you'd have to say it was Nettles and company that's responsible for this game so far as we go to the last of the 8th inning and Chris Chambliss facing Lance Robson.
The Dodgers have a new battery. Charlie Huff becomes Los Angeles' 3rd pitcher of the night, and Joe Ferguson is the new catcher. Following Yeager and Grody, Chris Chambliss takes a knuckleball high. Knuckleballing Charlie Huff out of Florida. Won 5, lost 5 for the Dodgers this year with 7 saves, an ERA of just under 3.3. His next knuckleball is inside the Chambliss, ball 2. Chris was walked, singled, and flied to center. Up to the windup, and the right-hander's next pitch is a ground ball to the right side. Garvey backhands. Huff comes to cover. The toss just in time to get Chambliss. Good play on both ends. 1 away, and that'll bring on Brian Doyle, the second baseman. Ross Porter with Win Elliott and Ralph Kiner from Yankee Stadium, New York. Ralph will be on with the postgame show right after the final out. He'll be talking to some of the stars of tonight's game. And certainly the biggest star, as far as we're concerned, is Graig Nettles.
No question about that.
Doyle 0 for 3 tonight. 4 out and 2 fly balls to left. He takes high for the ball. Let's pause 5 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS Radio Network.
WCBS, New York.
Huff delivers a fastball, and Doyle sends a fly ball to Bill North in shallow right center field for the second out in the bottom of the 8th inning. Bucky Dent, 1 for 3 tonight, but he launched that 3-run 7th inning for the Yanks with a line single to left. At the time, it was 2-1 New York. Rivers then bunted, beat it out for a base hit. White hit into a force out, but Munson singled in a run, Jackson singled in a run, and Pinella's ground ball got home a 3rd run. Knuckleball gets away from Ferguson, ball 1. If you're not keeping score with us when the Dodgers come up in the 9th, they're due to send up Joe Ferguson, Davey Lopes, and Bill Russell. And despite all his problems, Ron Guidry's 3 outs away from a complete game. Huff throws one almost to the backstop. Ferguson goes after it. It's 2-0.
And with an ERA on the year of 1.73, he's under that. He's only allowed 1 run.
Huff to the windup and the 2-0 pitch. And Dent takes in for a called strike. Reggie Jackson is getting close to a World Series record. 2-1 pitch to Dent is a line drive to left, but it's going to hold up for Dusty Baker, and he makes a one-handed catch. And Huff gets the Yankees in order. We'll talk about Reggie's chance for an RBI record in the World Series when we come back at the end of 8 in Game 3. Yankees 5, Dodgers 1.
The day is done.
Coming home.
It's time to let it go. It's the moment to unwind.
Welcome home.
So just say bud.
Just say bud.
And pour the king of beers and settle back and please yourself. No matter what you do, no matter when or where, you know a glass of bud is like an easy chair. When you say Budweiser, you said it all. When you say Budweiser, you said it all. When you say Budweiser, you said it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
It's been some kind of exciting baseball season, hasn't it? Well, don't you let next season get away from you without your getting some tickets to go to see some of the games. Why don't you, for instance, get a season ticket game plan? Why don't you call your favorite team and ask about 1979 season tickets? I'm sure they'll have a plan to fit your needs. Do it now. Don't get the kids mad at you. Don't get mad at yourself. Join the 40 million fans this year who enjoyed baseball at the ballparks. Baseball fever, you catch it now for 1979. The preceding has been brought to you on behalf of Major League Baseball. As the Los Angeles Dodgers come to the last half of their chance, the top of the 9th inning, trailing 5-1. They got to get 4, or we go to Game 4 tomorrow.
Joe Ferguson will lead off his first at bat, and Ron Guidry's first pitch of the 9th inning is high and inside. Ferguson came to the Dodgers in late June in the deal with the Houston Astros, and he batted .237 for the Dodgers. Guidry's next pitch to him, check swing pop-up foul out of play over the Yankee dugout. 1-1. Of the first 35 Dodgers to face Guidry tonight, 17, almost half of them, had either his first or his second pitch. They're not taking. The 1-1 delivery on the way. Fastball is low, 2-1.
Ball must be coming up looking big. Either that or they make up their minds quickly and they got to go when they got to go.
Guidry has struck out only 2. He's walked 6. He's given up 8 hits, but it's 5-1 New York. The pitch to Fergie, bounce foul. He chased ball 3 high and away. Before the 8th inning was over, we alluded to the fact that Reggie Jackson was coming up on a record. Jackson, with his RBI tonight in the 7th inning, now has 7 consecutive World Series games with at least 1 RBI. Here's Guidry's 2-2 pitch to Ferguson. Struck him out. Tried to check his swing on a slider. He's gone. 1 out in the 9th inning. That's the 3rd strikeout for Guidry. He got Ron Say in the 2nd inning. He got Lee Lacy in the 4th inning. Anyway, Reggie now has 7 straight series games with at least 1 RBI. And the record, 1 or more RBI in consecutive games, is 8, held by Lou Gehrig. 4 games in 1928, 4 games in 1932. So Reggie could tie Gehrig tomorrow with an RBI. Davey Lupson's a ground ball to Graig Nettles. That's the slowest ball he's hit all night, and Nettles throws him out. Lupes was 1 for 4 on 4 shots. And
3 of them
got him easily.
No, 3 of them to Nettles. 1 a line shot. The second one a good stop with the bases pretty well populated. And then in the 9th inning, the easy. Nettles was easy on him. He just ran in and threw him out by about 7 feet.
So Ron Guidry and the Yankees are 1 out away from cutting the Dodgers series advantage in half. Bill Russell up there. He's singled twice in 4 at-bats, and he takes one low and inside. Guidry wiggling off the hook with the Dodgers loading the bases and leaving them there in the 5th and 6th. And here's the pitch to Russell. Low and inside. Ball 2, 2-0. 5 Yankees with 1 RBI each. Roy White, Thurman Munson, Reggie Jackson, Lou Piniella, and Bucky Dent. Russell takes, and it's ball 3, 3-0. If Russell gets on, Reggie Smith would be next. Down by 4 in the 9th with 2 away. You have to figure Russell will be taking all the way. Guidry's pitch, he is taking, and it's on the outside corner for a strike. 3-1. Ed Figueroa for the Yankees tomorrow. Tommy John for the Dodgers. We'll be on the air at 3:15 Eastern Time. Strike 2 called to Russell. 3-2. The fans come to their feet, get ready to wind up. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4 just outside. Russell barely able to hold up in time. Guidry has walked his 7th man.
Well, sometimes it pays to be lucky. It's better to be lucky than good. If you're good and you have Graig Nettles playing third base, then you're lucky and good.
Smith 1 for 3 plus a walk tonight. Guidry's pitch, fastball in for a called strike. That was Ron Guidry's 131st pitch. Chambliss playing behind Russell. The stretch and the pitch to Smith, way outside, 1-1. The Dodgers have to have base runners. The tying run is not even in the on-deck circle yet. The stretch by Guidry. The 1-1 pitch. Fouled out of play off to the right. Guidry again. 1 pitch away from victory. 1-2 to Smith. Yankees got 1 in the first, 1 in the second. Dodgers got 1 in the third. Guidry pitched out a bases loaded jams in the 5th and 6th, and the Yankees got him 3 more in the 7th. Now the stretch. The 1-2 pitch. Foul back, and that looked almost like a changeup. Guidry trying to get Smith to be way out in front. Now the stretch by Ron Guidry. The 1-2 pitch. Struck him out swinging, the game is over. The Yankees beat the Dodgers 5-1. And Los Angeles now leads the 1978 World Series 2-1. Tommy John and Ed Figueroa tomorrow. Remember, we'll be on the air at 3:15 Eastern Time with the pregame show. Win, nice to work with you again.
Me too, Ross. And I'd like to talk to the folks for a minute before they leave about a great way to enjoy this series at home. I'm talking about Mellow Roast coffee and grain beverage. Mellow Roast starts with 3 kinds of rich, robust coffees and then blends in roasted grain to take away the bitter edge. So you enjoy full-flavored coffee taste without bitterness. That should make any sports fan a Mellow Roast fan, too. Pick up some Mellow Roast at your supermarket today and enjoy great coffee taste without bitterness. It's available in both ground and instant.
Take your contact, take it now. Give your cold to contact.
Before you choose a cold medicine, you should know that no cold tablet, no cold liquid has found the way to give you Contact's continuous relief. 1 Contact works up to 12 hours. Helps relieve all your congestive symptoms, all day, all night. That's the wonder of Contact.
Give your cold to Contact.
Take only as direct.
Here's Barsman and McCormick for Quantel Business Computers.
Well, once again, we're talking with another successful businessman. Sir, tell us about your business.
I am the undisputed king of do-it-yourself kits.
Do-it-yourself kits?
That's right. Do-it-yourself bridge building, do-it-yourself buffalo breeding.
Most interesting. Well, you're obviously very successful. To what do you attribute that success?
My Quantel Business Computer.
Your Quantel Business Computer?
Must be an echo in here.
Yes. What does a Quantel Business Computer have to do with your success?
I can do it myself.
Do what yourself?
I can program it myself. For example, if I need a report on the costs of sales for my do-it-yourself brain surgery kit, I just punch a few buttons, fill in a few blanks, and voila.
Voila?
It's French for Eureka, which is Greek for saxophone.
I see. Well, tell me, how are your brain surgery kits going?
Well, so far, nobody's come back to complain.
For Quantel information, call toll-free 800-227-1894. In California, call 415-783-3410. Collect.
5-1, the Yankees won the third game here at Yankee Stadium. Ron Guidry giving up 8 hits and 1 run. Sort of a struggle for the Louisiana Lightning kid, but he did manage to get through it. The Yankees, Roy White a homer in the first, Bucky Dent a ground ball that brought in 1 in the second. The Dodgers answered a ground ball single by Bill Russell in the third, and the game went seesawing back and forth. The star of the game at the middle section was Graig Nettles, who made at least 3 superior, marvelous stops, twice with the bases loaded to choke off Dodger rallies. Then in the 7th inning, Dent opened with a single. Rivers bunted him ahead and beat out the throw. A fielder's choice found men at first and third. Ron Say could not handle Munson's hot shot down at third, and the extra run came in and sort of broke the tension. Reggie Jackson greeted Lance Rotson's first pitch. The left center field single brought in another run. Then Piniella hit to short. He was out at first, but a third run came in. Graig Nettles, who'd been the star up until then, hit a long shot to right center. It wasn't long enough, but the inning was enough. The Yankees took the lead at that point, 5-1, and that's the way the game ended. We'll be back to Yankee Stadium in just a minute.
There's a kind of man who's mighty proud of his car, and you'll hear him say out loud, I take good care of what works hard for me. So for my car, it's STP. Yeah, in my car, it's STP. The kind of man who takes care of his hard-working car has got no use for a dirty carburetor. So he gets a little red can of STP gas treatment and adds it to the gas every time he fills up. STP gas treatment gets in there and helps keep that carburetor clean. And that's honest work for something that comes in such a small package. I take good care of what works hard for me. So for my car, it's STP. It's me and STP.
So going into tomorrow's game, the 4th game, right here at Yankee Stadium, it's presumed to be Tommy John for the Dodgers and Ed Figueroa for the Yankees. Ross, you're following the Dodgers all year long. How about Tommy John with only 3 days rest?
That is unusual, Win, for Tommy to go with 3 days rest, because the Dodgers, with their 5-man starting rotation, have not gone that route. But Tommy has said in the past that he feels very comfortable with 3 days rest. As he explains it, I am a sinker ball pitcher, and if I'm working with 3 days rest instead of the normal 4, if my arm is a little more tired than usual, it usually means that my sinker ball is more effective. In other words, I can keep the ball down and not get as many up. It might get me in trouble. That'll be interesting tomorrow to watch, as will the fact that Ed Figueroa will go for the Yankees, and Figueroa was complaining in Los Angeles, first of all, that he didn't like the mound as well as he likes the one at Yankee Stadium. Secondly, he felt that the National League umpire in Game 1, Ed Fargo, did not give him some pitches that an American League umpire, such as Marty Springstead tomorrow, might give him.
How about that? So you pharmaceutical houses that make millions on tired blood, forget tired arms. Tommy John lives on it. He says his sinker ball is better. Well, it's going to be interesting because Ron Guidry cannot pitch with 3 days rest. Tommy John says he can, and so that sets the stage for tomorrow. Ed Figueroa, who has not been effective postseason. Tommy John, who's been the bread and butter guy for the Dodgers. We'll be back to continue our wrap-up in just a moment.
Someday you'll own, someday you'll own, sooner or later you'll own Generals.
Don't buy tires until you visit your General Tire headquarters. You'll find a tire that's right for you and a price that's set for today's budget. Choose from steel-belted radial, glass-belted polyester cord, and economical 4-ply nylon cord tire. Or go with the sporty look of wide leather whites. They all incorporate General's 62 years of tire building know-how. Quality, choice, price. General has the tire for you. Check your yellow pages for the General Tire headquarters nearest you.
Sooner or later you'll own Generals. Sooner or later you'll own Generals.
If you've just joined us, the final score, the New York Yankees 5, the Los Angeles Dodgers 1. The score in games is now the opposite, the Dodgers 2 and the Yankees 1. Well, we're going to return with our post-game activities with Ralph Kiner, Hall of Famer, talking to some of the stars of the game in 1 minute. Meanwhile, for Ross Porter, this is Win Elliott for CBS Radio Sports.
In 1969, Jackie Stewart won his first World Racing Drivers' Championship. He repeated in 1971, then again in 1973. What Jackie Stewart doesn't know about cars hasn't been written.
I do know that cars just don't perform the way they used to. One of the reasons is the unleaded gasoline that the new engines call for. Unfortunately, most unleadeds don't have the power that gasolines used to have. Well, Getty Unleaded Regular does. It delivers the kind of power you got from gasoline before they took the lead out. Getty Unleaded Regular actually delivers more power than most other major unleadeds. As an ex-racing driver, that appeals to me. And while Getty Unleaded Regular delivers more power, it costs less than most other major unleadeds. I don't know how Getty does it, but as a Scotsman, that really appeals to me.
Getty Unleaded Regular. More power for less money.
From here in Yankee Stadium, this is Ralph Kiner, and we have with us certainly the defensive star of the game and also the man who scored one of the runs in the ball game, Graig Nettles. And Graig, they talk about pie trader, they talk about great third baseman, but I think you turned in probably two of the greatest plays I've ever seen, and maybe three. What a game you had.
Thank you, Ralph. It's it's a pleasure to do something like that in the World Series, and a lot of people are watching, and it's something that I have a lot of confidence in my ability, and I expect balls and I want balls to be hit at me on every pitch. So it's it's no surprise to me when a ball is hit at me.
Let's go back a little bit in the ball game. In the top of the third, North was up. He walked a stolen base with Yeager up. And then Steve grounded out to shortstop. North went over to third base. Lopes lined to you, a line drive, but that was really not that tough a play, although really a well-hit ball.
He did hit it hard, and I had just started to move back. I was up even with the bag, to take the bunt away from him. I had started to move back, and then I said, no, I'll just stay right here. And I think maybe the ball was rising. I think if I had moved back into a normal position, it might have gone over my head.
The next batter was Russell, and he got an infield hit, and the Dodgers had scored. Then in the top of the fifth inning, after a walk to Yeager and a single by Lopes with two men out, Smith hit a drive down the left field line, looked all the way like a double down the left field line, and maybe at least a run score, and you made a great backhand stop and held it to an infield base hit.
That ball, yeah, it came up on me, and I believe that's the ball that I knocked down, and we kept a run from scoring, which is the important thing, and it didn't hit me in the pocket, and I didn't really know where the ball was for a couple seconds, and I saw it rolling barely onto the outfield grass, but I was happy just to knock it down.
That made the bases loaded, and that wasn't the end of the story, because then Steve Garvey came up, and he had a shot down the third base side, and you made a fantastic backhand grab of the ball, got up quickly and threw to second base for the force play that ended the inning and left three men on base.
Yeah, that's I kept us in the ball game at the time. It was 2-1, and it saved a couple runs. And it's a tough play to explain because it's a reaction thing. And I really didn't. I always go through in my mind before balls are hit or before hitters come up what I'm going to do with the ball. I check out to see who's running and where the force play should be made if there is to be a force play. So when I caught it, I realized that if I got up quickly and threw to second, we'd have him.
You knew that you had to play at second the minute you caught the ball.
Well, as soon as the ball was hit, as soon as I realized I was going to get over to it, I had second base on my mind all the way because that's just what I thought about before the play.
Well, they talk about Brooks Robinson. Certainly you'll be in there because you made some of the greatest plays that can be made in the World Series. We're talking with Graig Nettles. We'll continue in 1 minute.
At Ford Credit, we've been helping people finance their cars for 18 years. So we realize that sometimes a personal situation may cause you some concern about getting credit. For example, maybe you want to finance a second car and wonder whether you'll qualify. Maybe you've just changed jobs and you're concerned that this will affect your credit. And then again, maybe your income is subject to seasonal ups and downs. Or maybe you're just out of school and want to start building a credit rating. Well, at Ford Motor Credit Company, We believe in people. So whatever your personal situation, have your Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealer call us. He'll lay out a wide selection of payment plans, and credit decisions are quick while you're in the showroom. Remember, when you're buying or leasing a new car or truck, Ford Credit wants to give you credit for being you. Tell your Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealer you'd like to finance with us. Ford Motor Credit.
Graig Nettles, our guest in the show here, and certainly one of the outstanding defensive stars of this ball game and any World Series ball game. Let's go to the top of the sixth. Baker and Lacey had singles. North then had a fly ball to left field, and Baker went over to third after the catch. And then Mota walked to load up the bases, and that brought up Davy Lopes, and Lopes hit a shot down to third. Another fantastic stop and a force play at second.
Yeah, it was the same type of play that happened a couple innings earlier. I backhanded the ball and spun around. You know, most third basemen will backhand the ball and then come up and throw overhand and to second. But I spun around, and because I throw the ball sidearm, it was an easier play for me. So that kept us in the game for still.
Well, one of the things about this ballpark right now, they just turned the lights off, so we're going to have to ad-lib something here. Graig Nettles, certainly an outstanding play. Graig got a big base hit back in the second inning. He singled to right field, actually through Davy Lopes, went down to second base when Chris Amos walked, and then came in the score on another base hit, force play, actually, when Bucky Dent hit into a force play, and that put the Yankees into a 2-0 position, and then, of course, it went to 2-1, and then the Yankees broke it open later on when they scored 3 runs in the 7th inning. Graig Nettles, one of the things about the statement you made earlier was that you expect the ball to be hit to you. And that's really the key to a great ball player, because he wants to make the plays and get the out.
Right. You know, Ralph, I've always thought of defense is something I'm proud of, and I want them to hit me the ball, and I have all the concentration and all the confidence in the world. And when the ball is hit at me, then I'm happy, because I have a good chance of catching it.
We'll be back to talk with Graig Nettles right after this message.
Someday you'll own. Someday you'll own. Sooner or later you'll own General's.
For 60 years, General Tire has been one of the nation's leading tire manufacturers. But General Tire means more than tires. Our one-stop car care centers are staffed by experts who know how to take care of your car, whether it's wheel alignment, wheel balance, lube and oil change, muffler, shock absorbers, brake, or batteries. You get fast, dependable service using name brand parts and materials. Your car gets a free 7-point safety check, too. And best of all, it's priced right. For tires and service, check your yellow pages for the General Tire headquarters nearest you.
Sooner or later you'll own General's. Sooner or later you'll own General's.
Well, they talk about defense, and Graig Nettles, the star of the game defensively, saved at least 4 runs in the ball game for Ron Guidry. Graig, that's outstanding.
Thank you, Ralph. Defense is something that I take pride in. A lot of players, I think a lot of players just think of defense as something to do between the bats and hope that they don't embarrass themselves out there. But defense to me is just as important, if not more, than offense. If I was to have a good game in a World Series like that, I think I would rather have a good defensive game than an offensive game.
You also have some offense, so you hit a lot of home runs.
Yeah, a lot of people have always thought of me as an offensive player, and just the last couple of years I've been getting recognition for my defense. But without sounding conceited or cocky, I think I've been a good third baseman ever since I came into the league.
Not good, but great, because Tom Lasorda said you are the best he's ever seen.
Well, that's a nice compliment from a guy like Tom, who's been around a long time. And, Brooks was the best I had ever seen, and if I can come close to him, then it would please me very much.
Graig Nettles, the star of the ball game. Graig, thank you for taking the time to come here. Now you have to go in and face those reporters in the clubhouse, and they're women, too.
Yeah, I think this might have taken more than 15 minutes. I think maybe all the women will be gone.
Is that good or bad?
It might be bad. I like to see them in there.
All right, we'll be back in just 1 minute right after this word.
The day is done.
Coming home.
It's time to let it go. It's the moment to unwind.
Welcome home.
So just say bud.
Say bud.
And pour the king of beers and settle back and to please yourself. No matter what you do, no matter when or where. of blood is like an easy chair when you say Budweiser.
Hey, Budweiser. It's absolutely the best way to call it a day, and that's any day. You know what I mean?
When you say Budweiser, you said it all.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Well, maybe the key play in the ball game from the standpoint of a base hit was a bunt base hit by Mickey Rivers, who beat out a throw to first base by Jerry Grody, who fielded the bunt as the catcher in the ball game. It got it going for the Yankees to score 3 runs and break the ball game open. Yankees winning by a score of 5-1, 5 runs on 10 hits, 1 error. The Dodgers 1 run, 8 hits, no errors. Guidry the winning pitcher. The losing pitcher was Don Sutton. Well, there it is, fans, the third game of the 1978 World Series. CBS Radio Sports has been happy to bring it to you. The score, once again, the New York Yankees 5 and the Los Angeles Dodgers 1. This broadcast has been sponsored by Penny, the 1,700 J.C. Penney stores coast to coast, by Mellow Roast Coffee and Grain Beverage. Great coffee, taste without bitterness, by Menley and James Contact, the 12-hour cold capsule, and Sign Off, the sinus medicines, by STP Products, by the Brewers of Budweiser, King of Beers, and by Western Union. Be sure to join us tomorrow afternoon for Game 4 of this Diamond Jubilee World Series. We'll be back on the air at 3:15. That's 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time. For Win Elliott and Ross Porter, our statistician John Gallagher, our engineers Steve Kirsch and Henry Lintz, our producer David Kerman, and Frank Miller, executive producer of CBS Radio Sports. This is Ralph Kiner saying so long from Yankee Stadium for CBS Radio Sports.
This is WCBS New York. WCBS News Time is 11:28. Guilty. The verdict returned against 2 Soviets accused of conspiracy to obtain secret U.S. defense information, with plans to deliver those documents to the Soviet government. Both defendants are United Nations employees. They face life in prison. The federal judge says they can stay free in the custody of the Soviet ambassador until Monday.